NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Houston Oilers.
The Astrodome is sold out as the Bengals and the Oilers meet for the first time in 1990. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Crickey with former Bengal All-Pro tight end Bob Trumpy. This rivalry, as you're probably aware, is a bitter one. The Nasty Boys might pitch for the Reds. You'll see some Nasty Boys today. This is a very intense rivalry dating back a long time, and certainly it was fanned by that 61-7 Cincinnati win last December, Trump. It's interesting that the Oiler coaches say Cincinnati, and this is a week after they played the 49ers, that Cincinnati has the best offense in the NFL, and Boomer spreads that ball around.
Yeah, the way they get it done, Don, is just the people that they throw to. Boomer last week had a phenomenal game, a team record 471 yards in throwing against the Los Angeles Rams, and he does it getting it to 4 people. A running back, a tight end, 2 wide receivers. Today, Eddie Brown is out, deactivated by the Cincinnati Bengals, so that hurts their offensive chances, Don.
And now we see that Jim Breach is ready to kick the ball off for the Cincinnati Bengals against a Houston team that has a lot of firepower also in Warren Moon. Their quarterback is terrific in this new offense that Jack Pardee put in.
And boy, he's really got the receivers to throw to too, Don. There's no question that the 4 that he gets it to and the percentage of passes that go to these 4, they're downhill receivers. They get down quickly, they hang onto the football, and they're just as good as the Cincinnati's 4 receivers. So a lot of offense from both these teams.
Busiest guy in the ball yard could be the scoreboard operator, as now it's Johnson actually who'll kick it off for the Bengals. He has it teed up at his 35. They split last year. Oilers won here in a Monday night game, a very close game, hard fought. And then the Bengals came back and absolutely destroyed the Oilers in Cincinnati in December. Here's the kickoff by Johnson downfield. It carries short. Coming up to the ball is McNeil, and it carries out of bounds, so it'll come out to the 35-yard line, and that's where Warren Moon, number 1, and he has been number 1 starting in the last 2 Pro Bowls. That's the offensive line that protects him. Maggs really coming out as a tackle. Munchak and Matthews, 2 Pro Bowlers at guard. Steinkuhler's been terrific for years. Hennison a good center. Lorenzo White is the starting runner, but we might see a lot of Alan Pinkett today. They need more running game. They only have 65 yards a game on the average. The wide receivers, as Trump pointed out, the key: Hill, Jeffries, Giffens, and Duncan. Last week, they built a 14-0 lead over the world champion 49ers in the first quarter.
Don, look at the way the defense of the Bengals starts. Just 3 defensive linemen down front. Now Francis gets down there as a 4th.
Linebacker James Francis rushing from the left side, and here's Warren Moon looking to fire deep on the first throw. Wide open was Drew Hill, but a big pass rush put on him by number 99 Jason Buck forced an errant throw. And there's the front 7 for the Bengals. Tua Tagovailoa starts at left end for injured Skip McClendon. From Ryan Buck across the front. Francis has been sensational from nearby Baylor University. Walker, Zander, and White, good linebackers for the Bengals. When they go to their extra DB formation, Hammerstein will come in as a pass rusher. Barker comes in. Rod Jones and Ricky Dixon are added to the defensive secondary. 2nd down and 10 now for the Oilers. Opening drive. Another throw, and it's almost, let's see, finally incomplete. 2 people had a play on it, very nearly an interception, then almost a reception. The intended receiver was Haywood Jeffries.
That's Barney Bussey was back there for the jump ball trying to make the interception. It appeared the ball was tipped by David Fulcher. And Don, 2 plays run by the Houston Oilers offense, and twice the Bengals have given him a different look defensively. There's Fulcher. He's just trying to hide back there in the defense. To this point, Bengals giving the Oilers some strange looks defensively. And of course, one of the keys to the run and shoot, the ability to read what defense they're facing.
Yeah, they're almost all option routes that the receivers run. Now we have Warren Moon coming up to a 3rd down, and he needs 10. Standing in. Downfield throw, and it's too far. Intercepted by the Bengals. Coming back with the ball is Barney Bussey. He's across midfield and out of bounds at the 40-yard line of Houston. A 13-yard return, and so the Bengal defense, rated very low in the NFL, comes up with a big play.
Well, one of the things the Bengals coaches told us they were going to do yesterday was try to disguise the coverage as best they possibly could. There you see the ball through the outstretched hands of the receiver, And then Barney Bussey is the guy who comes up with the interception. The ball was intended for Curtis Duncan. It's 81 Gibbons who is the intended receiver. And the Bengals go right to the line of scrimmage.
Bengals coming off that big win against the Rams at Anaheim go right to the run and take it down to the 37-yard line. Harold Green, a rookie from South Carolina, who's played terrific. He was the ball carrier. The offensive line, Munoz at left tackle, Reimers in at left guard, Kozerski at center. Moyer is in for the injured Brian Blados at right guard. He's probably out for the year as Brian with needing neck or shoulder surgery. Right tackle Joe Walter. There's the offensive backfield. The great James Brooks in there with Green as the running backs. As mentioned, Eddie Brown is out today as Boomer on a sprint out takes a look downfield. Now he'll take it himself at 225 pounds. He fights his way down to the 30-yard line of the Oilers. And it's 1st and 10. Now he's just going to be a yard short with a spotter. Here's the front seven for Houston. They've played well, grading out 6th in the NFL on defense. William Fuller, Ray Childress, Doug Smith, and Sean Jones across the front. Grimsley, Smith, and Meade the starting backers. Then they'll go to a different alignment on pass downs. The nickel defense features a rookie Glenn Montgomery in as a pass rusher. Leander Knight comes in as an extra defensive back. Dishman and Johnson are the corners. McDowell and Kennard are the safeties. 3rd and a yard. To the run. Here's James Brooks with blockers in front, and Brooks dives inside the 30 and gets down to the 28. And the Bengals have a 1st down. Trump.
Don, psychologically, Houston's got to be hurting right now. Last 2 games that they've played, against San Diego a win and a loss last week to San Francisco. They started the game with just tremendous opening drives. Against San Diego, 91 yards in 9 minutes, and last week 65 yards in 7.5 minutes for a score. The turnover, psychologically, Bengals up slightly here.
The Bengals with a lot of firepower in their offense. Esiason will go to every receiver he's got. He'll mix the ball all over the field. He looks at everybody. And on 1st down, he's looking to throw deep. Here's the rush, and again he eludes it, and Boomer dumps it off. He has an open man. A tight end with the ball is Jim Riggs, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. And Jim Riggs is going to be spotted out at the 7. 21-yard gain.
Done it. Excellent roll by Boomer Esiason. Watch the outside linebacker. When Boomer rolls out here, he puts that outside linebacker in a real spot. He's initially covering Rodney Holman, 82. Now watch what happens. He starts to come up. Riggs comes open, and he makes the completion for a big pickup and a 1st down.
Esiason's mobility has been a featured part of this opening drive for the Bengals. They got the ball on an interception by Bussey. Now they have it 1st down and goal in this scoreless game. Up the middle and down to the 3-yard line is Harold Green, who Esiason told us yesterday was a draft day steal, picked in the 2nd round out of the University of South Carolina.
The only problem is that at the University of South Carolina, he was a tailback, and at his size, 6'3" and about 215 or 20 pounds, he runs like a tailback, and they want him to run like a fullback, hammered in there the way Ickey Woods used to. He has coughed up the ball a little bit for the Bengals this year. It's a major concern on the coach's part.
Well, he's big and rangy. Stands 6'2", weighs 220 pounds, an upright runner. Out of the power stacked offense. Extra tight ends in the game. 2nd down and goal from the 3, and the Bengals get down close. Do they get in? They do. Touchdown signal as Greg Taylor takes it in. Now, the 2nd year back from West Virginia gets the call, and Coach Pardee Trump has a problem early, and Coach White likes what he sees.
Absolutely. A very, very impressive opening drive after the turnover. They're running behind Munoz and Rodney Holman, 82. Taylor, who does not play a lot, but is probably the real true fullback they have in this offense, scores. And for Taylor, that's his 1st touchdown of the 1990 season.
Jim Breach, who's having a big year. He's hit 10 of 11 field goals and has been perfect on extra points. Connects again. So the Bengals capitalize on a turnover early in the game and take it in for a go-ahead score. The Bengals going 40 yards on 6 plays after Barney Bussey's interception of Warren Moon early in the game. Finally, Craig Taylor on a 2-yard run, and it's 7-0 Cincinnati.
And as we mentioned in that first possession, this is the way the Oilers have started the last 2 weeks. possessing the ball, moving it down the field. Jack Hardy very happy with that turnover today. Psychological bummer here for Houston.
Lee Johnson hits a long kickoff. It'll carry 8 yards deep, and Gerald McNeil is cautioned not to bring it out. And so it'll come out on a touchback to the 20. And now Warren Moon getting some counsel from offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride. He helped bring the run and shoot to the Oilers. Gilbride says it's an offense geared at stretching a defense, extending it, giving it more things to cover than it can handle.
But to this point, the Bengals have given Warren Moon on 3 snaps 3 different looks.
San Francisco and Atlanta tied 7-all. Montana hit Rice from 24 yards out for the Niners score. Kansas City up on Detroit in the first quarter. Here at the Astrodome, it is 7-0. Cincinnati in the lead. First and 10, Houston. Moon, quick timing throw in the flat to Jeffries. He's out to the 26-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play.
Number 29.
There's Sam White's talking to his offense on the sideline, but the story to this point is just I think you can see the Bengal defense giving Warren Moon about 3 different looks in the 25 seconds. They kept moving, and just before the ball, they finally settled on the defense they were going to play. It's going to take a while, I think, for Warren Moon to decipher exactly what they're looking at. It appears to me that the Bengals are showing blitz up front, but playing zone on top of it, Don.
Second down. Oilers need 4. Lorenzo White, not much there. Oilers, as mentioned, have trouble running the ball, averaging only 65 yards a game with rush offense. Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, and Chuck Studley were talking about how difficult it is to prepare to play the run and shoot, because when you don't run it with your own offense, it's tough to practice against it. Whatever you show your defense during the week isn't as good as what you're going to see on Sunday.
Yeah, there's the defensive coordinator of the Houston Oilers, so the 2 defensive coordinators working hard. What is that? Must play cutback block.
Whatever it was, Sean Jones didn't seem too enamored with it.
No, I agree.
A lot of information.
Blitz.
They're down at 4. Moon going off balance, but he makes the connection. And with the ball for the first down is Ernest Gibbons. A quick little receiver from Louisville who's been a terrific player. And Ernest Gibbons gets ahead for 13 yards and an Oiler first down.
That's Gibbons' 25th reception. You see the blitz. Francis 50. You'll see Fulcher also coming from the outside. He's picked up by Lorenzo White. But Moon has done a little out pattern to Gibbons, is able to pick up the first down. The one thing about Warren Moon, he's very difficult to deceive. He's seen a lot of defenses playing in Canada. He's on his 5th offense in 7 years here.
I was surprised talking to him yesterday, Trump. This is his 13th year in pro football. He played 6 years in Canada, and he's now in his 7th year with the Oilers. So far this year, he's thrown 11 touchdown passes. The interception earlier today was his 9th. Look at that timing throw. Beautifully done by the Oilers, as Moon had the ball in the air before Jeffries made any break. Perfect timing for a 12-yard gain, and now the Oiler run and shoot is starting to hit the target.
Ricky Dixon, the free safety, was the man in coverage, and you can see again the look on at the line of scrimmage looks blitz, and then you can see obviously that the defensive backs are playing zone. And Jeffries goes up and makes a nice catch, so the drive stays alive.
Bengals down near the bottom in NFL defensive stats. They want to improve that, and you start with a big pass rush. Looking to get the push on Warren Moon, and here's a handoff to Lorenzo White, running back. Averaging under 3 yards a carry, but he bowls ahead and gets some good yards there.
One of the things that appears the Bengals are trying to do, as they have done in a lot of weeks, is put David Fulcher up there where he can also play linebacker. Pursuing from off the plate, Lorenzo White on the carry, and he's there to kind of push the pile down, but it's a nice 5-yard pickup by Lorenzo White.
6th week of the season as David Fulcher, a Pro Bowl and All-Pro selection, looks in, a 240-pound blockbuster. He will separate the ball from the carrier. Bengals come in with a 4-1 record. Victory today, and they would take command of the division, at least over Houston. Oilers cut on a must-gain. Tip ball. They've had a big problem with drop balls on the Oilers. They're normally sure-handed receivers. That was Tony Jones, a rookie from Texas, and they're probably going to go to him a lot today. 5'7", very quick.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 feet 7 inches tall. When the quarterback gets you the ball at that size, he only weighs like 138 pounds. You better catch it, because a guy who is 5'7", 138 in the NFL is difficult to find.
He played basketball for Coach Penders in the Longhorns, Tony Jones.
This ball should be caught right there in the hands. It looked like he had pitchforks coming out through those gloves instead of fingers.
Mike Holloway, the Oilers GM, told us yesterday that Moon should have at least 25 more completions. He did that many drop balls in just 5 games. Now he looks. Moon, a very smart, heady player, checks everybody, then takes it himself for an Oilers first down.
Second leading rusher on the Houston Oilers football team.
And the best per carry rusher is Warren Moon, averaging almost 5 yards a rush.
That's the one guy that the defense does not account for, the quarterback. And even in his 13th season, Warren Moon knows that if he can pick up 3 or 4 yards to get a first down, that's his job. He comes out of the pocket. Splendid athlete. When he told us yesterday, when he found out that they were going to the run and shoot, he went straight to the weight room. Get a little stronger.
That's what the Bengal defensive coaches do. We've got to get to him and hit him. That's how you stop the run and shoot, or at least throw it off balance. First and 10. Oilers with the ball. Bengals with a 7-0 first quarter lead. Looking for the long ball is Warren Moon. Out at him. And a drop. It's unbelievable how they're dropping balls. Drew Hill, one of the best in the league, and he couldn't catch it right in his hand.
Carl Carter was the man in coverage, and Drew Hill, who has been the leading receiver on this team for the last 4 or 5 seasons, that's a shock. He has spectacular hands. One of the problems, though, with the run and shoot, Don, is that you expose these guys to the inside of the coverage, and there are a lot of big guys who are there to make hits. But that one, Drew Hill would like to have back.
They've had 3 drops today, the Oilers.
And 2 tipped, one of them intercepted.
Like Drew Hill was telling us yesterday, Trump, you get a lot of balls in the run and shoot running from an inside receiver position, but you take a lot of hits. This is his 12th year.
Throwing blitz, and it is a blitz.
Second and 10. Ooh. Moon had to throw off balance. The Bengals got a big rush. Ernest Gibbons, number 81, was the intended receiver.
Now, see, here's one of the problems with a run and shoot. If you're not running the ball, when you see a blitz like this is a perfect opportunity to run a trap up the middle. But with the run and shoot, because you don't have a lead blocker in there, we'll watch David Fulcher on the blitz. Now, see, if you can run a trap up in there, a quick draw up in there, you're going to bust that defense and get them out of the blitz. But with a run and shoot, you really can't. You don't have enough people to block.
Fulcher is troubled by a knee condition. They want him to lose weight, but he said his knee never bothered him in past years. Doing what he does, he feels a lot better, a lot stronger at the 240. They wanted him down to 220. Home run ball to the end zone. Duncan trying for the ball, and it's taken down by Tony Jones, who came from off the play.
Well, he misses the easy one and makes the tough catch. Full protection. And this time Warren Moon chooses the outside receiver, Tony Jones. He makes an outstanding catch. Absolutely beautiful catch over Rod Jones for the score.
Now Zendejas, after a 33-yard touchdown throw, hits the extra point. So the Oilers did indeed stretch the Bengal defense. They had people running deep, and off the play, on the fly, came Tony Jones for the score. Rookie Tony Jones, an 8th-round draft choice out of the University of Texas at Austin, with receiving a 33-yard touchdown reception, a perfect play. Warren Moon leading him, and Tony Jones with great speed, catching it in the end zone, and now it's a tie game as the Oilers kick off. Return is taken across the 15-yard line. Boomer Esiason comes back out to run the Bengal offense. Defensive goals of the Oilers. their 1990 average.
Those are all percentages. Those are all percentages. They've done a pretty good job.
Green runs the ball, and he's cut down at the 19-yard line. As the Oiler defense, obviously ignited emotionally by that big play from the offense that tied the game. And William Fuller comes up to make the play. McDowell was also on the stop as San Diego has taken a 2-0 lead on a safety over the Jets. Detroit has come back and is now leading the Chiefs of Kansas City. New Orleans up on Cleveland, Tampa Bay up on Green Bay.
Looking at the Houston Oiler defense, their choice is to go with the nickel package. So far, 5 defensive backs to start the game.
Esiason was concerned about the crowd noise, and it's intense right now. Here's an over-the-middle throw. A penalty marker comes in. As Rodney Holman, the tight end, took the ball out to the 30. There was an 11-yard gain, but it might come back.
We got holding on Rodney Holman, too. No question about that. When he was coming off the line of scrimmage, it looked like, well, we'll wait and see who it's on, but it was holding.
Holding, 96 defense, penalty flag, first down.
Sean Jones. When Rodney Holman releases, it just turns him around. You see the flag thrown right in the, all right, field judge does it. So the play stands. That's the first down. The Oilers play that overshifted defense, so the defensive end is on the right on the nose of the tight end, and if you can slow Rodney Holman up, or any tight end up, that helps a bunch in the defensive coverage.
Now the ball spotted at the 30-yard line. First down and 10 as Green runs the ball, and look at him cut back. Errol Green, the rookie, big strider, breaks tackles with it. Fast and strong, and he gets out to the 36-yard line. They're going to have a wealth of runners, Trump, because Ickey Woods is ready to come back next week.
Did you notice the way he was carrying the ball? He has coughed the ball up. The Houston Oilers like to strip the ball, and watch Green. He'll have both arms wrapped around it to make sure nobody gets it. When he gets up through there, watch him put his other arm on it. There it is. He's holding it because he has put the ball on the ground.
Oilers have beaten the Bengals the last 5 years here at the Astrodome. Here's a throw and a connection. Boomer Esiason gets the ball out in the far flank and out of bounds at the 48-yard line for a first down, chased out by Chris Dishman. Is that Lynn James? We have no 83.
Kendall Smith.
Kendall Smith has changed numbers. He was 88 as of yesterday. That's not Kendall Smith, is it? That's Kendall Smith. All right, Kendall Smith gets the reception.
He was uncovered, Don. The defense blew the coverage there.
We'll be seeing more of 83. Here's another throw to Kendall Smith. Markers are down.
Oilers tried to make the defensive substitution, Don. Bengals try very desperately early in the game to make sure the defense does not put other personnel on. You see the line judge say, I counted 12.
Play with as few as you'd like. Can't have more than 11.
Now what they're discussing is whether or not they saw Cincinnati come on the field with substitutions. If Cincinnati substitutes, the defense can.
Gordon McCarter is the referee.
See, the defensive man comes in late.
Because Cincinnati first substituted for that play, the defense did not have reasonable time to assemble their substitution.
Well, the referee handled it very well. He got his Gordon McCarter got his crew together, and if the offense makes an attempt to substitute, the defense can substitute, and they must be given a reasonable amount of time.
Boomer wants to check this out.
Yeah, Gordon McCarter is going over to talk to Sam Weich, but I don't think the Bengals substituted. I don't believe that the Bengals substituted a player.
I don't know if that's Miss Houston Oiler of 1990. I don't think so. We don't want another Roger Clemens thing with Boomer getting the thumb here.
Referees, officials in the NFL allow a lot more jaw than I think umpires do. And see, they're discussing it again. I do not think that the Bengals substituted a player. And the other thing is you can't assume as an official that a player came on the field. It has to be verified.
Jim McNally, the standout offensive line coach of the Bengals, in the middle there. Jim Anderson, the backfield coach with a headset on, counseling Coach White. 5 times a year Cincinnati's involved in something like this. The game is stopped over a substitution.
The officials on this side of the field assure me that there was no substitution prior to that play. Therefore, the Cincinnati quick play was legal. The defense had 12 men on the field at the snap. It is 5 yards, first down and 5.
That's his best. That's as good as I've ever seen an official handle that situation. That's exactly the way it should be handled. He pulled all 7 guys, all 6 guys, to find out what they saw, and the guy on the near side said Bengals didn't substitute. So it's a 12-man delay of game penalty against Houston. You can see him running off the field. 99 is the man coming off the field, Doug Smith.
So after due process, the ruling's in favor of the Bengals. And now they have the ball. First down and 5. James Brooks works for about the 2 toughest yards he's gained in 1 carry this season.
Here they try to substitute again. Now the Oilers got the substitute on. And the player off.
So all you got to do is have some big lineman fall on the ball and lay on it until they order him off and people run on and off the field.
Well, but Seattle tried to do that with Joe Nash, faking that 3rd down knee injury. And Seattle was reprimanded in good fashion by the league. You can't do that.
The Bengals in this tie game, 3:20 to play in the first quarter, now have the ball 2nd down and 3. Green. Oh, what a stick. Head on top, put on by John Grimsley, outside linebacker from Kentucky.
Who was playing outside in his 4-man front.
Number 59 was the tackler as you look at Ray Childress.
Grimsley's making the sacrifice, moving outside, but he hits Harold Green square. Childress is on the bottom of the pile, and Grimsley makes the big hit for very little pickup.
Childress, an all-pro defensive tackle, rated among the best defensive linemen in the NFL. 3rd down and short now. Bengals need about 2. Boomer, play faking, takes a look, dumps it off. James Brooks is hit. He fights. Did he get there? I think he did. Looks like it's going to be from where the linesman came in, Trump, a first down for Cincinnati.
Well, Bubba McDowell hit him, but James Brooks, at 180 pounds, one of the strongest guys you'll ever come across on the football field for his size, struggles for an extra 1.5 yards maybe to pick up that first down. Yes, it is a first down. Now, Brooks starts out on the block. See 21 on 96? Well, what a mismatch that is. Sean Jones is like 6'8", 290. James Brooks is 5'10", 180. Fights for the extra yards and gets the first down.
Game clock down to 1:50 and running. First quarter. 7-7 game. Bengals 1st and 10. Brooks. Sensational player, 3 times an all-pro player. Down his 10th year.
Pete Johnson for James Brooks. Can you imagine that trade?
Johnson's been out of the league 1 year after he came, didn't that? We're at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. First quarter, and the game is tied 7-all. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, arch rivals from the AFC Central. The Bengals and the Oilers. Crazy George, didn't he used to be out in Oakland?
Kansas City, he's been everywhere.
Oh, they try the flea
He's
flicker, and
open.
it might work. Open man downfield. It is going to go for it. Almost an interception. Dishman came from off the play and broke it up. It was Dishman who was burned last week by John Taylor for the winning touchdown by the 49ers.
Tim McGee was the intended receiver. It was the flea flicker. It almost didn't work. James Brooks is hit just as he lets the ball go by William Fuller. Watch William Fuller on the right-hand side of the screen. Hit James Brooks. 95, boom. Almost doesn't get it back there. And then this one kind of floats. Bubba McDowell's able to catch up to it. and McGee can't make the catch. Great play, Chris Dishman.
Dishman is a gambler. He'll make some big plays. He'll also get burned. That time he made a big play. Defensive back from Purdue. Here's a throw over the middle. Beautifully received and taken down inside the 20-yard line by Mike Barber. And he's going to be down to the 17-yard line as Dishman, who likes to jaw, starting up with Barber.
Richard Johnson's there to make the tackle. You see what the Bengals are doing here, Don? An awful lot of crossing patterns. The Houston Oilers run a lot of zone coverage. And if they can get time for the quarterback to look through that zone, they feel they can find a spot back there for the receivers to get open.
Oilers had the 49ers beat, or thought they did, until Dishman tried to strip the ball from John Taylor on an out pattern. It would have been a short gain if he just made the tackle. Taylor shrugged him off, threw him to the ground, and ran in for a touchdown. That was the difference. Bengals on first down. Harold Green protecting the ball with both arms, takes it inside the 20-yard line. He'll get ahead for maybe 2 yards. Al Smith, the middle backer, and Johnny Meads, an outside backer, were on the tackle as the first quarter ends in a standoff. It's 7-7 Cincinnati and Houston.
Rollout here. No, by Boomer. Watch the rollout here.
We're back ready to start the second quarter of play. As you see, this is the 12th play of the drive coming up now for the Bengals. They've moved it down the field. Some runs by Green and Brooks. Accurate throws by Esiason. The game is tied 7-all. Extra defensive backs in the game now.
Oilers have gone with the nickel package since the outset of this game, Don.
Bengals go to the run. A big stick up the middle. That was the all-pro Ray Childress, Texas A&M. Childress, when he came out of A&M 6 years ago, was the #2 player picked in the entire draft. Bruce Smith of the Bills was #1.
Now we got a flag here. Looked like there was some jawing again. Childress, former defensive end, making that extreme sacrifice going inside in the 4-man front, but he said, I made the sacrifice when he talked to us yesterday so that we could get William Fuller and Sean Jones on the field, all of us at the same time. I have no idea what the flag is for.
The Oilers like a couple of rookies, Jeff Alm from Notre Dame and Willie Pegues from Miami of Florida, 2 other down linemen. Alm graded out as the best Oiler lineman in the preseason. But Holovac said because of his lack of experience, they've kept him out for the most part. He's only played sparingly.
Illegal formation, offense, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
Boy, that was way after the play. That's unbelievable.
8-7.
I mean, yeah, but that flag came in after James Brooks was up off the ground.
The penalty for illegal formation, offense is declined, 3rd down.
See, what they're saying is you need 6 men on the line of scrimmage and there's an illegal formation, but they didn't throw the flag until the play was dead and the player was up off the ground. That is the all-time late flag.
Robert Lyles this week asked to be traded. He hasn't been starting in the new 3-linebacker alignment. He was a perennial starter for the Oilers in their 3-4 alignment of the past. Very much in the game, though, is Robert Lyles from the sideline as Boomer Esiason swings it out. A nice lead goes to Harold Green. He's down to the 10-yard line. They'll be short of a first down on a 3rd down try. And that'll send out Jim Breach in the field goal unit.
Or will it?
They're a couple yards short. I would think it would.
I don't know. Division games like this, Don.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if you go with percentages. Yeah, that Breach is going in for a field goal. They'll take the points. Or so it appears. You know, against New England, they ran a fake field goal, but just to remind you of that.
Jim Breach, the father of 6. And the Bengals' all-time leading scorer. He's a comeback story of sorts. He was cut last year.
Yes, he was. Size 5 shoe.
Size 5?
Size 5 shoe.
Those are like hooves. Here is the field goal, drilled up and through. They're big enough to get the job done very well. And Jim Breach gives the Bengals the lead, 10-7, early in the second quarter. Back at the Astrodome, Yesterday, when the Bengals came to town, where did they practice? None other than the parking lot of the motel. Whatever's fair, Trump.
Well, it had lines on it. You can see that. And all they were looking for was someplace to stretch their legs, work up just a little bit of a sweat. And
you couldn't find a grass field somewhere in this
apparently they were all being mowed.
$1 billion contract.
No, Saturday everybody in Houston mows their grass, so the asphalt in the parking lot was the only thing they could use.
Well, the offense is running well. Right now the Bengals have the lead as they kick the ball off. It carries out of the end zone for a touchback, and the Oilers will start from their 20-yard line. That was a 14-play drive, culminating in the field goal by Jim Breach, 71 yards.
And I did just notice on the Bengals sideline that sitting next to Eddie Brown, who is deactivated for this game and can't play, is Tim McGee, the other starting receiver. The guy on the right is Tim McGee. He has a right thigh pull, so now the Bengals are without 2 starting wide receivers. That is a huge factor in this football game.
2 sensational wide receivers.
Absolutely.
Eddie Brown was having the best year of his career at the outset. The injury kept him out of the Rams game, and now keeps him out of the second game today. Curtis Duncan and Bernard Ford are in his wide receivers now for the Oilers as an out pattern. Here's a penalty marker coming in. It's going to be ruled a completion to Drew Hill.
That might be a late hit on Warren Moon there, Don. Holding against the offense. Well, now with Eddie Brown out at the start of the game and now Tim McGee out, it's really up to the Bengals defense here.
Holding, 74 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Bruce Matthews on the hold. Now this Bengal defense has got to somehow shut down this run and shoot, because without the 2 starting wide receivers, they'll go with Kendall Smith, and Lynn James is going to have to make an appearance for the first time in this season for the Bengals at wide receiver.
They really like Lynn James, the Bengal coaches. A 5th-round pick out of Arizona State. Forced to play the rookie today. First down and 20. They go to Lorenzo White. He takes it ahead out close to the 20-yard line. Got back about 9. And now we have a moment. Let's go to NFL Live in New York and Dick Enberg. Dick.
Don at Giants Stadium, the Chargers with an 80-yard drive have regained the lead against the Jets. Billy Joe Tolliver to the brilliant wide receiver Anthony Miller, 29 yards. Miller's 4th touchdown of the year, 9-7 Chargers. Now back to Houston and Don Criqui.
Thank you, Dick. Here at the Astrodome, you see the time, 12 minutes and 45 seconds left to play. First quarter. The Oilers favored on their home field. They've beaten the Bengals here the last 5 years, but they trail Cincinnati today 10-7. Moon from the gun fires it out in the flat, and another marker goes down.
That's illegal procedure against the Houston offense. Play will not count. Looked like Munchak moved. Yeah.
7 offense. 5 yards, still second down.
They're calling it on Steinkuhler. Now that's one thing that the Houston Oilers have continued to have problems with. Last year when Jerry Glanville was here, everyone said all the penalties that Houston got was because of their over-aggressiveness, but motion penalties and little dinky penalties like that have really cost the Houston Oilers in 1990.
Set back again on this latest penalty, back to their 15-yard line. Second down and 15. Run and shoot, ready to fire, and no marker down. The Bengal lineman got back quickly. Here is Duncan catching the ball, and he's not done. As he crosses 30. And he'll be down at the 30 as he cuts back. 14-yard gain. Curtis Duncan from Northwestern.
Rod Jones was the man in coverage. There's also a flag on the field.
After the play.
Rod Jones had Duncan across the formation, and then Duncan's foot speed, he just outruns Rod Jones.
We've had a lot of confabs today with
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 33, defense.
David Fulcher with a late hit. So a 14-yard gain is now augmented by a big walk-off on the personal foul penalty against an all-pro player.
That makes it 29 yards on the pickup, 14 on the catch, 15 on the penalty.
Fulcher, among the new breed of strong safety, those linebacker-size hitters that can run like the corners. Atwater at Denver, Fulcher, they're all over the league now. And they hit like wrecking balls.
Again, the Bengals defense switching there at the last minute to confuse Warren Moon.
Moon, nice timing. Makes the connection. Receiver will be spotted out of bounds at about the 45-yard line of Cincinnati. Again, it was Tony Jones coming back at the ball. That quick little Longhorn, who already has a TD reception today, his first as a pro.
That's the one spot that Warren Moon and the Oilers are consistently going to, the out from the outside receiver. The majority of the run and shoot offense is run by the inside receivers. But so far today, we've seen the bulk of it go to the outside.
Now the Oilers down 10-7, have a first down on the Cincinnati side of the field. Lorenzo White breaks for a good gainer, most of 10 yards. He's inside the 35-yard line. Tackled on the play by Barney Bussey, who had that interception early in the game. So spotted ahead for 11 yards and a first down.
Now what the run and shoot tries to do is stretch the defense all over the field, and then one-on-one blocking. You give the running back the opportunity to pick the spot he wants to run. Fulcher there to assist along with Barney Bussey on the tackle, but it's a first down pickup. Now that's the way the run and shoot works best. Spread that defense and then run him up the middle.
Then the defense. A lot of wide receivers with great deep speed, and they're primarily small ones that operate in the run and shoot. So
he's open.
Ooh. Tony Jones almost had his second 6 of the day, but he's just overthrown. He's a flyer. At 5'7", Ricky Dixon was covering on the play, not very well.
Again, the outside receiver. Watch what Moon does. See where he looks. He looks right straight to Tony Jones.
Nice ball.
Just
long.
Oh, he throws some beautiful spirals, but this one was just out of the reach of Tony Jones. Moon knows he's got him open, but that's a tough throw when that receiver is going straight away from you to really judge how far to throw it. There's a missed opportunity there because he was open for 6.
Now it's second down and 10, Houston. Just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. 10-7 Cincinnati. Long ball, open and through Hill. Touchdown Oilers.
This offense, with the 4 receivers in there at all times, Don, puts so much pressure. You see Moon look right to begin with. That gives him just enough room. The safety doesn't get over there. And Drew Hill beats what appears to be zone coverage. The closest man was Carl Carter, but that was a zone.
The extra point by Zendejas is good. And for the first time today, the favorite Oilers have taken the lead, 14-10. The best 12-year veteran Drew Hill out of Georgia Tech just caught his 3rd touchdown pass of this season, and it puts the Oilers ahead for the first time, 14-10. Now Stanford Jennings runs the kickoff back for Cincinnati, and he is swept under by a wave of blue at the 16-yard line.
On that touchdown pass, look at the safety over here. When Warren Moon sets up and looks right, it keeps that safety over here. The ball is caught here. This safety is supposed to help, but the look off keeps that safety out there so that he can't bother the pass. Beautifully executed by the Houston Oilers. And Drew Hill just outruns the defense for the 6. 6 plays, 80 yards, 33 yards to Hill for the score.
Could be a last at bat game. We're going to have a lot of touchdowns. We already have had 3. Long ball, overthrown. Very nearly making a play on the ball was Terry Kennard, the free safety, who has added measurably. The intended receiver was the rookie Lynn James. Kennard from the Giants. Plan B, he played on their Super Bowl championship team. 49ers having a tough go at Atlanta today. San Diego, with reportedly Coach Dan Henning under fire, leading the Jets. Dan White told us earlier this season the Chargers would win 10 games. He thought they were that good. In the first 5 weeks, they'd only won 1. They have great potential, though, particularly on the defensive side. Blocker in front of James Brooks, weaving in and out, and then coming from off the play to make a hard shooting tackle. Ray Childress was on the stop. Dishman was also on the play.
And Don, with the Bengals now missing Eddie Brown and Tim McGee, going to have to go to the run. You see Ray Childress 79, Moyer 73 blocks him, and Childress catches James Brooks from behind. Oh, he can do anything.
That is the work of a great player. A 280-pound defensive tackle running down James Brooks.
Bengals got to ramble here now. They don't have their starting wide receivers.
Third down. Bengals need a long 6. Intercepted. It's picked off by the Oilers. On the run is Richard Johnson, and he's going in.
That's Johnson's 3rd interception. The first return for a touchdown, and the intended receiver was Rodney Holman. Releases inside of Sean Jones. Meads in coverage. Ball should have been caught. Richard Johnson right there on the outside, covering the outside receiver. Lynn James, number 80. Johnson runs it back. Whoa, big play, Houston.
Zendejas sends Houston at a lead now to 21-10. 5 minutes ago, the Oilers were behind 10-7. Now they're ready to kick off again. They're putting up the points here in the Astrodome, and the Oilers have this place rocking as they've taken a 21-10 lead after trailing 10-7. Returning the kickoff for the Cincinnati Bengals with almost a free ball. Mitchell Price ran it back. Bengals keep the ball, but there was good special teams coverage.
Don, if we go back to the interception, Holman has the ball go off his hands, but if you'll watch the end of this play, rookie mistake. Watch what happens. Lynn James is right out here, and that draws Johnson in there where he can make the interception. Lynn James ran the wrong pattern. So there's no way you got 3 receivers within 5 yards of each other, and Boomer's telling him, get the right play, get out of there.
Oiler defense, which just put up 7 points, comes in and sweeps under Harold Green. This Childress is a force, number 79.
He's right over Moyer, fights to the inside. Look at that pursuit.
He is football.
You need 2 guys on that kid. You need 2 guys on that kid, or Mr. Moyer, Mr. Ken Moyer, is going to have an awful day.
Remember John David Crow, the athletic director at A&M, telling me, John, a former Heisman Trophy winner, we got a great one coming out of A&M. When Ray Childress came out, a great one. He's been that. Only been to 1 Pro Bowl. He should be there every year. Downfield throw, Esiason with a tremendous effort, and just as he was struck from the blind side, he makes the connection to Mike Barber, who is doing very well.
Again, Ray Childress. Ken Moyer, 73, is a young man, is a free agent. They run the stunt, and Moyer and Kazurski and 63 Walters get tied up in there. And there's a quick play run by Cincinnati. Flag thrown. William Fuller all over the place.
William Fuller, a veteran defensive end from North Carolina. One of the reasons they went to the 4-down lineman is to get him in the game more.
Flag on Houston.
Offside,
Childress
79 defense, 5 yards, first down, 5.
Today, probably the last.
Childress is not on the defensive side of the ball. They caught him again. Well, I'll tell you, if you can get a cheap play like that, there are a lot of people that don't like it, but yards are
to irritate him now.
Yards are hard to come by in this game. You get him in.
If I give him time to get back and not try to agitate him. trouble. Grimsley comes from off 59. He made the pop, but Childress is again jamming it up inside.
Quick play, quick play.
Bengals, indeed, going to the quick play. Boomer Esiason on second and short, letting the long ball go, and he throws it away. Very nearly in the hands of Dishman, though. And a marker's down.
I don't see any flags.
There's one way down
here. Yes, way down here.
Way off the play.
Look again, Boomer Esiason goes right to Lynn James. Son, get with the offense or get on the bench.
James is a rookie. He's just getting his first real work of the season because of the injuries to Tim McGee and Eddie Brown. They were raving about this guy yesterday, though, about his potential.
Well, but this is not an easy offense to just jump into. There are a lot of adjustments. There's Jim Anderson, the running backs coach, in the headset there. Son, if you want to play in this league, and especially today, you better get your mind in it. He's
12 men on defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Is that the third one? That's 2 for sure. That may be 3. Too many men on the field penalties against Houston.
Sam White, who's NFL Properties poster boy, he does commercials and print ads for all those resplendent in his new Bengals sweater.
And that shirt he's wearing is supposedly his lucky shirt.
That one's got some mileage on it, that shirt.
Yes. And again at the end of the play, now you see Eddie Brown and Lynn James talking there, and Boomer is right up in the face of Lynn James. Get with the project here, pal.
Live action, that is Kendall Smith. Free ball, it's ruled down. Dishman thought he had a fumble.
Whoops, don't do that, Chris. You've already
got to tell this kid to shut up. I mean, he can play football well at times. He was beaten for all 3 Montana touchdown throws by the 49ers.
Quick play again by Cincinnati.
He has got himself into trouble with his constant jawing.
Let's see what Cincinnati does when everything settles out. If they can't get the penalty, then they will stop and huddle up, and the officials now want to talk. Well, there's a bunch happening here. This thing is going in fast forward. There's Kendall Smith again on the reception, and they're always trying to strip the ball away. And I think the play is being reviewed. Now what they have to consider here is forward progress stopped, and when is the ball loose?
Ooh. That looked like Nate Odoms at Buffalo against the Raiders the other night.
Yeah, the only problem here, though, Don, let's see what this look gives us. He's struggling forward. Does he still have it? Yes, he does. Boy, that's close. That is very, very close. The replay is Chuck Heverling, who is a long-time former official, I think 23 years.
As a referee.
Yeah, a referee. In my opinion, we always got to take a stand on these. There's not enough evidence to overturn that play. Let's see if we can figure out where his forward progress is stopped. And when does he have the ball? Ball is loose there. I don't know. I mean, I think it's left with what's called on the field.
Dishman left the field, came back on it.
There's Chuck Heverling. He's also wearing that black armband on his left arm for Dick Jorgensen, longtime official who passed away recently.
Dick Jorgensen, who worked the Super Bowl last January, died in his hometown of Champaign, Illinois in the past week, suffering from cancer.
Now here's another new rule. From the moment that it's thrown upstairs for review, the replay official has 2 minutes to make his decision, and then it goes back to the field. The umpire is the man in contact with the replay official. It's Ben Montgomery.
Coach Pardee looking on anxiously. Here's a guy that played 15 years in the NFL as a linebacker.
I would say 2 minutes is about up here.
2-minute warning has been given, at least on the replay
Play
count.
stands as ruled. Dead ball hit.
And you can't blame that on Chuck Heverling, because there's not irrefutable evidence or enough to overturn it. If they called it a turnover on the field, it would have been a turnover on the field.
Oiler fans are exercised. Esiason was talking yesterday, Trump, as you remember vividly, about the trouble with the crowd noise here, and it is Oiler fans have really kicked in after those big defensive plays.
63-year-old.
And the Bengals subsequently misfire. No longer calling the Astrodome the House of Pain.
Yeah, that's the offensive right tackle, Joe Walter, coming up out of his stance, trying to get a good start against William Fuller. And this first half has gone. There's been a lot in this first half, son.
Second down, Boomer and the Bengals need 12. Looking deep, open man. Free ball. Was it a catch and a fumble? Was he ruled down?
No, they're saying it's incomplete.
We're going to look at this again.
Yeah, that could be reviewed also. Barber was the intended receiver. The ball was thrown behind him. That's Richard Johnson on the ground.
Mike Barber, a second-year receiver from Marshall. Richard Johnson having a down moment after having a career high a little while ago when he ran back the interception for a touchdown.
You see Barber come up and run the end. He's trying to get above the coverage. All thrown behind him. I couldn't tell from that one if he had it.
I don't think he did. You can't tell.
But there's going to be a review of the play, I do believe. Again, no, it never has it. Good call, incomplete pass.
So while Johnson's attended to, there's a break on the field. Back to live action now. The Bengals have the ball. The Oilers have the lead 21-10 at the sold-out Astrodome. 5:27 to play in the first half. Esiason under pressure throws it downfield. It's through the hands of Harold Green. Leander Knight was defending. Now while we have a moment, let's go back to NFL Live and Dick Enberg. Dick?
Don, the Chargers have taken advantage of two bad jet snaps. One led to a safety, and on this one, 250-pound Marion Butts gets the score from 5 yards out. It's 16-3 San Diego. Now back to Houston and Don Criqui.
Thank you, Dick. Bengals have to punt the ball now. 4th down and 11. The Oilers on a roll after trailing 10-7. They have erupted. 14 points in a 21-10 lead. Their catch is signaled for and made by Gerald McNeil. Remember him as the Ice Cube at Cleveland. Came here as a Plan B free agent. And so the Oiler offense goes when we come back. Welcome back to Houston, Texas, where the Oilers hold a 21-10 lead in the second quarter over the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals leaders of the AFC Central. If the Oilers win today, they'll be back within a game of the lead. Should they lose, they'd be out by 3. Over the middle throw, and a nice catch made by Ernest Givens at the 22-yard line. On a first down play, he got 8. Tackled on the play by cornerback Lewis Billups.
Don, the Bengals are continuing defensively to go with the 6 defensive backs. You'll see Lewis Billups in man coverage with Ernest Givens right there underneath. The Bengals are playing zone on top and man underneath, and Givens still beats him.
Remember Howard Schnellenberger, Givens' coach in college at Louisville, saying he advised Givens, they don't know how good you are yet. You go to that scouting combine, run as fast as you can, catch every ball, and young man, you'll make $1 million playing pro football. And he's going to end up making a lot more than that. As Lorenzo White dives ahead, the former great back from Michigan State, out to the 26-yard line. The Spartans in celebration. Their victory over #1 Michigan yesterday.
Look at the difference between the number of runs by the Houston Oilers here and the number of passes. That's yards. You can see Houston's passing yardage very, very good. Neither team has run very effectively, and frankly, I think in the second half, the Bengals are going to have to. Missing their starting wide receivers.
Gee and Brown are both out with injuries. And McGee and Eddie Brown both out for Cincinnati. From the shotgun on first down, timing throw. Haywood Jeffries makes a diving play on the ball, and he's going to be credited with a reception at the 42-yard line of the Bengals. 32-yard play.
Well, they have certainly picked a spot. Continually in this first half, they've gone after Ricky Dixon with the outside receiver. This time it's Haywood Jeffries. And Dixon, who is a true safety, playing corner in this special group. Oh, Haywood Jeffries kind of pushed off there a little bit. No flag. 33-yard completion. We go on.
That was fair.
Or not noticed. Works.
Oilers coming in with a 2-3 record. They had the 49ers beat, or so they thought last week. San Francisco came back in the fourth quarter to win it. Timing throw. And the ball is taken. It'll go for a touchdown as Leonard Harris is in.
What a catch.
Run and shoot. Hitting bullseyes.
The Bengals have had a problem throughout this 1990 season with big plays allowed by their cornerbacks. This time it's Carl Carter as Moon really gets creamed. But what a catch by Harris. Carter's there in coverage, but he's not looking for the ball. Harris is. And that puts Warren Moon over 20,000 yards.
Zendejas hits the point after. Warren Moon with his third touchdown throw of this day, his 14th of the season. And the Oilers have run from behind in the run and shoot and taken command 28-10. Leonard Harris, a Red Raider from Texas Tech, not to be confused with the Red Raiders of Colgate University. He's in the end zone with Warren Moon's third touchdown throw, and here is the high spinning kickoff. Running with the ball is Mitchell Price. Done until he goes across the 35-yard line and out to the 38. Dishman ran him out of bounds. And here comes Mojo to get that kicking tee. My man. All right, watch him now.
I don't think he can make the run and shoot offense, do you?
All right, look at Mojo. He's still got it after all these years.
The way Houston's scoring today, they may wear him out before this game is over.
That's right. It's like those guys at A&M, they do the push-ups for every point. Air Force Academy. We welcome those of you who have been watching Cleveland and New Orleans at halftime, as right here at the Astrodome. It is a 28-10 game. The Bengals had a 10-7 lead, and all of a sudden the Oilers erupted. They've scored 3 unanswered touchdowns. One by their defense and an interception return by Richard Johnson, who subsequently was injured and has left the game. And 3 touchdown throws today by Warren Moon. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Astrodome in Houston. The Bengals in white are the leaders of the AFC Central Division. Esiason with a swing pass going out to James Brooks. And a lot of sensational players in this game if you're just joining us, but number 79 on the Oilers, Ray Childress, their defensive tackle, has been phenomenal. Absolutely extraordinary. From Richardson, Texas, nearby to Dallas. Out of Texas A&M, he looks like Bob Lilly or Randy White of the Cowboys in their all-pro years. A lot of Cincinnati's firepowers on the sidelines. In the gold necklace there is Fast Eddie Brown, their standout wide receiver. The other gentleman in the gray t-shirt is another terrific player, Tim McGee. They're both out with injuries today. And in their stead, we have some younger players performing, certainly not up to their standards. They're new in the league. People like Lynn James. Now it's a third down play, and Esiason called to the run, and James Brooks gets what he needs. He needed 3, he got 4. And the Bengals keep the drive alive as time is becoming a factor. 1:52 to play in the first half. Headlines on NFL Live today. Reported that Eric Dickerson's new 4-year contract as we have an injured Bengal down.
That looks like Anthony Munoz, number 78.
Is Anthony Munoz, their all-pro tackle. 10 years in the league, 10 times a Pro Bowl player. It's reported that Eric Dickerson's 4-year contract extension with the Colts is not guaranteed. It's reported that Marcus Allen has asked the Raiders to trade him. He did that earlier in the season, but hasn't asked them recently. Mike Lynn, the ex-general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, says he'd make the Herschel Walker trade again if he had the chance. I can assure you the Cowboys would make it again.
I don't know what the gentlemen at halftime are going to talk about, but in the Eric Dickerson deal, his new 4-year contract extension with the Colts makes him very tradable. And I don't think because he signs a contract for 4 years with the Colts means that he's going to be there. I have a feeling that that's just guaranteeing some other team that we got him signed for 4 years. It's not guaranteed. Here he is and available to you as Munoz is up.
Number 78, taken up on the way for Cincinnati.
Anthony Munoz.
See if we can pick up the injury here. There's Munoz. Looks like Bubba McDowell, 25, may have made contact with Anthony in the right hip area. Does he keep moving? Well, they might have rolled up on his ankle a little bit. But very few times in his career has that gentleman been on the sideline. Probably the best that's ever played
Yeah,
the game.
I was going to say, when
spot.
they write the book, this could be the greatest offensive tackle in the history of the NFL. He only played like 26 college games in 4 years at USC because of knee injuries, and he's rarely missed a start if ever in the pros.
Boy, the Bengals need a score, a touchdown here. Now, wait a minute.
Oilers exhorting the crowd to kick in the noise level.
Boomer is saying he's going to get help here. Yeah, they called a delay of game on him. No flag on the ground.
Not much help.
And that's after a timeout. Boomer didn't handle that situation very well at all. You have to go up there and make an attempt to snap the ball. You just can't nonchalantly go up there and say it's too noisy. That doesn't work.
This game turned in a flash. Bengals are in command 10-7. Then the Oilers are up and they now lead 28-10 in the first half. Esiason on 1st and 15. Over the middle throw. It's caught inside the 30-yard line. Down to the 28. Mike Barber making another big play.
29 yards on the catch. Good pass protection by the Bengals offensive line allows Boomer to look long down the field for Barber.
Esiason swings it out. And Harold Green is caught looking at the middle backer, Al Smith, not at the football.
Again, the big reception as Anthony Munoz, 78, comes back in the ball game, but the big reception by Barber. He's on the outside. They're trying to flood that area and then just releases underneath, and the ball is caught between 54 and 21. Nice catch. Good throw. Big first down.
You mentioned the Bengals need a number on the board now before halftime to get back in this, trailing by 18 points.
Audible.
1:18 left to play in the half.
Bengals have plenty of time. 10 seconds on the clock.
The last time these teams played in December in Cincinnati, it was 61-7. Bengals, and here's a free ball. It's a live ball. And it's finally recovered by the Ender Knight of Houston, number 21.
See the blitz coming from everywhere. Al Smith is the guy who makes the contact on Boomer Esiason, no question. The arm was not going forward. Goes as a sack and a fumble. And you can see Boomer trying to audible out of it, but the guy right over center, Smith, is the one who makes the contact.
Big Doug Smith, number 99, was on him. Now the Oilers will try to put up more points. Over the middle throw, and again the run and shoot connect. This is Ernest Givens on the run. Givens darts inside, all the way down to the 23-yard line. An exceptional effort by Ernest Givens as Moon sprints up into alignment and now calls a timeout.
29 yards on that catch and run and 3 missed tackles.
The Astrodome is rocking.
Again, it's Billups, 24 on Givens. Billups misses the tackle. Givens keeps going. Carl Carter misses the tackle. And then Tua Tagovailoa finally has to get him to the ground. Very poor tackling on the part of Cincinnati.
52 seconds to play. First half.
Moon motions to the sideline. He's talking to the offensive coordinator. And then he runs up to the official and calls a timeout. Finally gets it done. It cost him a couple of seconds, but he gets it done. There's Sam White, Dick LeBeau on the right.
It's interesting you look back, Trump, on that 61-7 rout last year at Riverfront Stadium. The Oiler players say a lot of Bengals came up to him afterwards and apologized for the lopsided score. Everyone knew it was really White's running it up on Glanville more than the Oilers. Aaron throw is an out pattern run by Gibbons. Ball skips in, incomplete. Still a lot of time for Warren Moon to work with. He has thrown 3 touchdown passes today, 14 for the season.
Yeah, let's see. He hit Drew Hill, he hit Gibbons, and he hit Tony Jones. So Jeffries, 84, is the 4th wide receiver they use a lot that should feel left out. There he is. Is it his turn?
11 of 19 is Warren Moon for 235 yards. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Look at Jeffries singled up, bottom of the screen.
Second and 10 play. Jeffries over the middle. Throw is to him inside the 10. And he's down to the 9-yard line. First down, Oilers. And the clock ticks on down and finally is stopped. 14-yard gain on the play.
Timeout, Houston. That's the one spot that Houston has picked on all day long. The outside receiver. It's Ricky Dixon, and he's been very busy today. Jeffries cuts inside. Gets a little crowded in here, but Warren Moon gets it right in there. 14-yard pickup. Drive stays alive. Fulcher on the tackle. Man, this has been a first half packed, I mean packed, full of football.
You've seen a lot of Bengal games. Certainly, Mr. Trumpy wore the colors long and well of these Bengals. But you have seen everything today.
Well, not just with the Bengals, with any football team. I mean, this has been very, very busy.
Our producer today for NBC Sports is Glenn Adamo, director John McDonough. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. We have 38 seconds to play in the first half. Coordinating producer of NFL football, John Ferrazis. As right now, the Bengals align on defense. The Oilers with a first and goal inside the 10. Moon with a lot of time. He could take off. Pump fakes, takes it out of bounds, stops the clock with 29 seconds to play.
Very smart play by Warren Moon. Don't throw the ball in the end zone there where they can get the turnover. He chooses to go out of bounds. His offense keeps the ball. Here's Jeffries again. Ricky Dixon. This is zone coverage. He's out in the corner, but when Warren Moon rolls to the right, chances are the ball's not going to be thrown all the way back across the field. So Dixon drops the coverage. And I don't think Moon can get the ball to him there. He thinks he's open, but he's already rolled way to the right.
Goal.
That's what you call open. This game, as Coach Pardee looks down, couldn't play at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati because of the success of the Reds in the baseball playoffs, who have switched to Houston. Incomplete on second down. Drew Hill was the intended receiver. Carl Carter was covering. Jack Pardee, 54 years old, has been Coach of the Year in 4 different leagues. The NFL, he coached the Redskins and the Bears, was Coach of the Year with the Redskins. In the USFL, coached the Houston Gamblers. In the World Football League, I don't know who he coached in that league. And in the Southwest Conference, he was with the Houston Cougars, who, if you're not aware of it, have one very good football team again this year.
He must subscribe to the theory that the best thing that a head coach or a baseball manager can do is rent wherever he goes.
He's a great believer that speed is the key. Speed will humble you no matter how big you are, Pardee says. Played for Bear Bryant at Texas A&M. Intercepted and dropped. Ricky Dixon had his hands on the ball but couldn't hold it.
You'll take 3 points here if you're Houston.
Well, 3 points drop will get him more than halfway to that 61 that the Bengals scored last December.
You're absolutely right. You can see the zone coverage. It's man underneath. Phillips 24 on 81 Gibbons, and then Fulcher is back there with Jeffries. Boy, we got all kinds of people in that area.
It was almost caught by Gibbons. It went right through the hands of Ricky Dixon. Zendejas, who had his problems this year kicking field goals, he's only 2 of 7. Ready to try one. High snap, ball is down, and it's drilled up and good. And so the Oilers, after trailing in this game 10-7, now rally to score 24 unanswered points with 19 seconds to play in the first half. Coach Pardee and his Oilers are up 31-10.
Well, Don, they have done it with big plays too. In the first half, there's been a 33-yard touchdown pass to Jones. There's been a 42-yard touchdown pass to Harris. There's been a 30-yard interception return by Richard Johnson for a touchdown. A 33-yard pass to Drew Hill. Warren Moon is on fire in this first half. Absolutely on fire.
Well, they're putting up the points at Atlanta Stadium, where the 49ers have come back to lead the Falcons by 7. San Diego, an underdog, leading the Jets. Kansas City now rallying again. They've come from behind and taken the lead over Detroit at halftime at KC. As mentioned, in the third period now, New Orleans up by a field goal over Cleveland. Bruce Matthews, a former #1 draft choice from Southern California, the brother of the Browns' great outside backer, Clay Matthews.
The bigger brother of the two by a bunch.
Younger brother. They both know where Hawaii is in the Pro Bowl.
Yes. They have been there a bunch, haven't they?
Swift kick downfield. And the ball is now run back by Mitchell Price, and he's upended inside the 25. The Bengals could use some offense now. Perhaps you're ready to come back from retirement.
No chance. Glenn Montgomery on the tackle.
Let's harken back a few years. There's Kenny Anderson dropping to throw, taken by number 84, Bob Trumpy.
You had to run that, didn't
handle,
you?
my man.
That was a big game for us. We lost that game 21-16. Had a chance to go to the playoffs. That was the last catch I made in the NFL. Ball is stripped away from me.
Ending in ignominy.
Yeah. Ken Anderson's still mad at me for that, because he thought we were going to the playoffs and bought his wife a fur coat. We didn't go, and he still had to buy the fur coat.
The least you could do is tackle this guy. So here we are now, Mr. Trumpy in retirement, in repose up here.
Much more comfortable up here.
We have seen a wild game today, with the Houston Oilers now holding to a 31-10 lead. And Sam White, who's used to building big leads with his high-scoring offense, it'll be interesting to see what he comes out with in the second half if he just goes to a flat-out pass offense.
Well, I think we've got an injured player on the field. I think it's Mitchell Price, the guy on the return, being attended to by the Dr. Rob Height there on the left. But without Tim McGee and without Eddie Brown, and with Lynn James's performance in the first half, missing a lot of assignments, it appears, the Bengals are going to have to come up with some way to run the ball and run the ball consistently. Down 31-10. They need defensive turnovers, block punts, interceptions, things like that to get back in this football game.
Well, harkening back to what we talked about earlier, Trump, how the Oilers said this is absolutely, even though it's only the 6th Sunday of the season, a must game for them, because scheduling strongly favors the Bengals in the second half of the season. 6 of the Bengals' last 8 games are at Cincinnati.
Yes, this first half of the season is almost like a tour for the Bengals through the NFL.
Well, I remember I was at that game. It's unbelievable.
And
Bengals score, go up 58-7, and we speculate on an onside kick. That's exactly what they did. Then kick the field goal. At halftime, we'll be going to New York and NFL Live, where Dick Enberg will be sitting in today for Bob Costas, along with Will McDonough and O.J. Simpson, and that will do it. A wild first half, and one that has Oiler fans standing in ovation for their team. As Boomer Esiason heads off, Warren Moon goes to the locker room with 3 notches on his belt, 3 touchdown throws, a 31-10 lead for Jack Pardee and the Oilers. This is Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Houston, and now we're going to switch to NFL Live in New York and Dick Enberg. Dick?
So the Houston Oilers running, shooting their way to a big 31-10 lead at halftime against the Cincinnati Bengals. Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson with you at NFL Live. We'll check all the scores and highlights right after we pause for these words. Welcome back to New York. We're in the 6th week of the NFL season, and already the teams that are in the lead, gentlemen, everyone roots against them because you're trying to catch up. And in this case, Cincinnati off to a 4-1 start, trying to make friends around that Central Division.
Well, you got to give Houston credit, but the big story here is Warren Moon. There was a little, people were curious as how he would adjust to this new run and shoot offense early in the year. They got started a little slow, but it looked like they picked it up. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. In the first half, Moon has 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Definitely, Will, the hottest quarterback in football today.
I'll tell you, O.J., this is probably the only day of the year where everybody else is rooting in that division for Warren Moon. Like you said, Dick, this is a key game. Because if Cincinnati get out to 5-1, they had a 2-game lead on everybody, and they'd be very tough to catch, especially since they got all those home games at the end of the year going in their favor. So the other teams in that division certainly want Houston to hold on in the second half and win this ball game.
And there's a lot of talk about Warren Moon making that adjustment to the run and shoot because around the league they say it's dangerous for the quarterback. Here you have an older quarterback going to take more hits. But it appears he really loves the role.
Oh, yeah, I think it's like a deja vu for him because he played up in Canada and that whole league is almost run and shoot. And, you know, of course, he was MVP up there.
So the Oilers, using the big gun of Warren Moon and a defensive touchdown as well, have the 31-10 lead at halftime. Elsewhere around the NFL, in Atlanta, the San Francisco 49ers, they've just gone to halftime, a 10-point lead against the Atlanta Falcons. Joe Montana, 4 touchdown throws in the first half, 3 of those to the All-Pro Jerry Rice, and it's a 10-point advantage for the 49ers, who certainly know how to win on the road. One of the Atlanta touchdowns coming on a block punt by Bobby Butler, 31-21 San Francisco. At the Meadowlands here in New York, New Jersey, it was Dan Henning bringing his Chargers in, hungry for their second win of the season. This young team facing a young rebuilt New York Jet team that had trouble handling the snap from center on punts. Joe Prokop finally has a teammate recover it, but the Chargers get the ball inside the 20, but can't score. 4th and inches, and Billy Joe Tolliver runs into Rod Bernstein, and Bernstein runs into all of the Jets. But the Jets are unable to get out of the hole. Ken O'Brien meets Bert Grossman, the leading sack master for the Chargers, and it's 2-0 San Diego.
Well, the Chargers deep for the Chargers.
Trouble again for Prokop. Can't get the punt away, and San Diego takes over on the 5-yard line. And with the lead, it's Marion Butts, the big 250-pound fullback, blasting in from 5. And a 16-3 San Diego lead. 2 more John Carney field goals in the first half, and it's 22-3 San Diego. In Kansas City, the Detroit Lions jumped in front 14-3, but Christian Okoye's touchdown late in the second quarter, giving the Chiefs a 17-14 lead, and that game has gone into the third quarter. In New Orleans today, the news is the quarterback, John Forquet, the starting quarterback, benched because of ineffective play, and Steve Walsh, number 4, acquired from the Dallas Cowboys, the number 1 pick out of Miami a year ago. His first pass as a Saint complete to Dalton Hilliard, and Walsh would go on this drive, 7 consecutive completions. He finds Hilliard again, this one for a touchdown from 4 yards out. That led to a halftime lead of 9-6, and the Saints have scored in the third quarter, open a 16-6 margin over the Cleveland Browns, having trouble with their offense again. And in the Battle of the Bays down in Tampa Bay, it's the Tampa Bay Bucks 16-0 into the third quarter. 3 field goals by Steve Christie and Vinny Testaverde, a touchdown pass to lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we go back to Houston for more of the Bengals and the Oilers after we pause for these words from your local station.
Back at the Astrodome, it is 31-10. The Oilers in command of the first place Cincinnati Bengals, leaders of the AFC Central Division. A wild first half as the Oilers rallied from a 10-7 deficit and scored all those points to come from behind. It's interesting, Trump, at the outset of the game, we were talking about how the Oilers coaches said that without question, Cincinnati is the best offense in the NFL. They said this after playing the 49ers last week. I tell you, the Bengal coach there got to be impressed with Warren Moon after this.
Yeah, no question about it. I do think the loss of Tim McGee really hurts the Cincinnati offense because they've now got Barber and Lynn James, two very young receivers that the Bengals have to rely on, and I frankly don't think they can get it done with those guys. So, yeah, but when you look at Warren Moon, he has been phenomenal in the first half, absolutely phenomenal. His numbers are going to be spectacular, and he had 4 or 5 drops.
Has 250 yards in the first half. We'll watch some of those throws that were caught in the end zone. After we first look at the halftime numbers, the Oilers with a decided edge. You see the 295 yards. Last week, Boomer threw for almost 500 yards against the Rams, passing the ball like 473. And today it is Warren Moon taking apart the Bengal defense.
First half, the Houston Oilers had the ball on 5 offensive possessions. They scored on 4 of them. The opening drive of the game, they did not score, and then they had 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and then they also had the interception returned by Richard Johnson. So I don't know that they can play a better half of football.
We'll watch one of the Oilers' great plays, a touchdown throw to Drew Hill.
This is from behind the defense, and there's one recurring number that appears in a lot of these touchdowns today, and that's Ricky Dixon in coverage. This time it's Carter, 45, but Drew Hill splits the defense. Ricky Dixon has really been picked on. The Oilers' choice is to go to the outside receiver on the run and shoot, and it's worked all half.
Is there any way back into this game for the Bengals? They got to get some turnovers.
Yeah, they need interceptions. They need blocked punts. They need blocked field goals. They actually, for them to get back in this game now, Houston has to help and help a lot.
Well, 31-10 is the number at halftime as we look at how the Oilers built their lead.
It's unbelievable. That first interception the Bengals take in for a touchdown, and that's their only touchdown of the day.
Barney Bussey intercepted.
Yeah, the interception was not taken in, but the offense scored. But then all Houston in the first half, or the remainder of that first half, and they have just been all over the place. The Bengals, you can see the problems they had. Started out strong. First 2 possessions they score, but then the Houston Oilers defense has really eaten them alive. And the injury to Tim McGee, Don, I think is a huge factor, because now you got 2,000-yard receivers on the sideline. Eddie Brown deactivated for this game, and Tim McGee out with the thigh pull, and that's not good for Cincinnati.
And not to be lost in the whole equation is the fact that the Oilers are more than halfway to the 61 points that Cincinnati ran up on them with 31 first-half points.
Yeah, Jack Party's comment was, though, I wasn't there for that. I don't know anything about that. And a lot of players have said, yeah, we remember, but you don't build a game plan around getting pasted by 62-3 last year. It doesn't make any difference, or 62-10, whatever it was, 61-10.
It may have crossed their mind, though.
Sure, no question about that. But I mean, Jack Party has to be very, very happy with the performance of his offense and defense in this first half. I mean, those numbers are just sensational for Warren Moon.
With at least 5 drops.
Yeah, and that interception on the first drive that resulted in the Cincinnati turnover and points. So the Houston Oilers have owned this first half.
Boomer Esiason, he was sharp at times. He had some pretty good numbers, but he's not been in the end zone with a scoring throw today.
Well, he just doesn't have a lot of people now to go to, Don. With Tim McGee out and Eddie Brown out, you're throwing the ball to young men like Kendall Smith and Mike Barber that you really don't have a lot of faith in. There's Eddie Brown walking out. He was not active for today's game, so this is the 2nd week in a row he's missed. And actually, to try to make up 21 points, very, very difficult here in the Astrodome.
You need defensive plays, you need turnovers, and the Bengals, as mentioned, came in rated right near the bottom of the NFL in total defense. The Oilers are among the NFL leaders in both offense and defense. So the numbers show that they're a markedly better team, even though they came into this game with a 2-3 record. As Pardee said, we were awful the first 2 games of the season. They lost them both. They just didn't have to run and shoot down, a whole new system, but they've come together. Next Sunday, this is the place to be for a great football doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern time with NFL Live. Then some of you will see the AFC's leading rusher Bobby Humphrey and the Denver Broncos as they bust into the Hoosier Dome to face the rejuvenated Indianapolis Colts, who have Eric Dickerson back next Sunday. Others will see the Jets battle the Bills at Buffalo. And in the second half of the doubleheader, you'll get a look at the world champion San Francisco 49ers as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. Plus regional action Check local listings for the game and time in your area. NFL Live. We've got the lineup, and tonight on NBC, kick off your night in playing McMillions. You could win at least $1 million when you watch the new drama series Hull Hive. Then on to the critically acclaimed new series Life Stories. Meet 4 people looking for surgical solutions. Plastic surgery is the story on an all-new Life Stories, followed by an NBC world premiere movie, A Quiet Little Neighborhood, A Perfect Little Murder, starring Terry Garr and Robert Urich, tonight only on NBC. Sam Whitestrump has seen A Perfect Little Murder perpetrated on his Bengals here in the first half, down 31-10. Bengals will start off with the ball in the third quarter as the kickoff goes to rookie Mitchell Price, who is counseled not to bring it out by veteran Stanford Jennings, and so it'll come out to the 20-yard line. First and 10 for Boomer Esiason on the Bengal offense.
This is not an easy task. 21 points down. The Bengals have shown very little consistent running game through the first 5 games of the season.
They were the NFL's leading rushing team the past 2 seasons.
And now missing your 2 starting wide receivers. Tough.
Other fans start right up in the third quarter. Green gets very little on a first down carry, as shooting the gap from left end was William Fuller, number 95. Across the defensive front, William Fuller, Ray Childress, Doug Smith, and Sean Jones. Grimsley, Smith, and Meads back the line. Dishman. We watch now William Fuller.
He takes on the trapper. It was Bruce Reimer, 75, who tried to make the trap. Fuller gets inside it and makes the tackle.
Richard Johnson, who was shaken up, back at right corner. Dishman at the left corner. Safeties are Bubba McDowell and Terry Kennard. The second and 10 play. Here is flag thrown by the referee, who was right there next to Boomer Esiason. He was taken down by Doug Smith and William Fuller.
That's a pounding when Doug Smith lands on you.
300.
Looks like we got a flag against the Bengals for the hands to the face. This is out on Sean Jones, and he gets his right hand up in the face mask, and that is a penalty.
Boomer Esiason was saying yesterday that Doug Smith is so big he can't stop when he heads towards you. He could be down, the play could be whistled, but he's still coming. He said you got to look out for him. He's dangerous.
There's no question he's dangerous.
Inertia.
The only problem with Doug Smith is that he just can't stay out there for a long period of time. Not in very good shape.
Boomer on 2nd and 20. Long ball. Almost taken down by Kendall. Intercepted.
Dishman.
Dishman has the ball. An interception for Chris Dishman, who hurt his foot on the play.
It looked like when he hit the ground after jumping up for the interception, he may have turned his ankle, Don. Ball was intended for Kendall Smith. And this is just kind of a hope shot for Boomer. The coverage is there. Now watch Dishman when he comes down. He jumps up for the interception, and it looks like he hyperextends his leg or something, and he can't run, so he just hobbles to the sideline. Houston ball.
The Oilers and the Bengals will meet again 2 days before Christmas on December 23rd at Riverfront Stadium, as Dishman is attended to. His interception gives the Oilers the ball on the Cincinnati side of the field for Houston's first possession of the second half.
See if we can pick up again the end of that play. There you see his ankle kind of turn out a little bit as Kendall Smith kind of rolls up on him. This play is being reviewed. I don't know why. Watch the left ankle. Thank you very much. Deciding the dead ball spot. Was he hit there? If so, knees down, contact is made. The ball will probably be replaced there. Doesn't appear to be a serious injury. Dishman on the sideline being attended to.
Dead at the 47-yard line of Cincinnati.
leg on leg is the thing that makes him down there. So Warren Moon starts again after that spectacular first half. Boomer just thrown his second interception of the day.
Well, Boomer goes to the sideline and Warren Moon goes to work again. With the hot hand. The run. So White takes it across midfield on a first down carry. He got close to 4. Knocked down by defensive end David Grant, number 98.
Now, there are a lot of people that feel that one of the problems with a run and shoot is when you're up 31-10, the only offense you have to go to is the run and shoot, which is a chancy offense. You can produce some interceptions there. But Jack Pardee doesn't believe that. He thinks that it's a very high percentage ball possession type of offense, and with a lead, it's no problem.
Second down and 7 now for the Oilers, who lead the game 31-10. That's how it stood at halftime. Early in the third quarter, throwing a catch. Drew Hill coming out of the backfield as a line actually is a slot back left, and he goes across the field. It's taken down by Rod Jones.
It didn't take Houston long to figure out what was going on here. Man underneath, zone coverage on top by the Cincinnati Bengals, and Warren Moon has consistently gone outside, found the single coverage and gotten it to that receiver. Again, too big a cushion there for man coverage. You see Fulcher, he's the man on top in zone coverage, and Jack Pardee likes what he sees.
Third and short. Lorenzo White is the setback. Gibbons playing games with this cover as Boomer calls his own number. Moon calls his own number and gets ahead to the 41-yard line, a first down. So a quarterback keep by Warren Moon. James Francis brought him down.
3 yards on the carry.
I know it was one or the other.
Yeah, well, the guy in blue is going to be Warren Moon. All those quarterbacks look alike, you know, after a while. The second leading rusher on this team. He has done it today with his arm.
Warren Moon on first down. Throws a strike to Curtis Duncan. Gain of only 6 yards. The deep drop, it was about a 20-yard throw, but good for 6. Fulcher on the tackle for Cincinnati.
David Fulcher is back there playing almost a free safety. He's trying to read what's going on. He's playing zone. When he sees the ball thrown, then he's trying to get there to make the tackle and jar the ball loose. Mitchell Page 32 in coverage, but it doesn't work that time. Well, they have made some big plays Houston has with these wide receivers today.
With a long count on second down and 3. The beautifully thrown ball to Drew Hill. What a play.
Out and up.
Rod Jones was victimized. 24-yard gain.
Drew Hill runs the out, then turns up the field, and Warren Moon puts it there perfectly. We'll only see this at the end, but Drew Hill was out there to the right. Now he turns upfield. Rod Jones is nowhere close. Another 24-yard pickup. Man, have they had some big plays by these receivers today, all over the place.
Ricky Dixon has been worked on a lot today. Warren Moon looks into the end zone. Open man, Ernest Gibbons, touchdown Oilers.
Gibbons' 6th touchdown reception of the season. Phillips is the man in coverage, and oh, does Ernest Gibbons ever fake him out of his uniform. 11 yards and another score.
Ernest with a dashing touch to that TD.
Warren Moon now 16 for 26, 297 yards, 4 touchdowns and an interception. Wow.
The Oilers have scored on their last 5 possessions. The Oilers kick off. They have scored 31 unanswered points. They come from behind as now the run back by Mitchell Price, and he runs headlong into a truck. Glenn Montgomery, number 94.
Price doesn't want to get up either. I don't blame him. Watch this. Glenn Montgomery's a defensive tackle. Whoop. Like you hit a clothesline, huh? Well, let's stop here. Okay. Thank God his head's not in that helmet, because his helmet's about 3 yards away.
38-10 is the count. As the Oilers on a Sunday, they are avenging that 61-7 loss at Cincinnati, December 1st of 1989. Harold Green with the swing pass, running well, and he is struck down by Childress. Punishing tacklers. For that big hit, let's switch to New York now and Dick Enberg.
This is how the roomy new Cutlass Supreme SL looks after traveling 300 highway miles on just 10 gallons of gas. And this is how Honda Accord looks after the same challenge. Well, if it hadn't run out of gas...
Now lead 29-3. Don?
Thank you, Dick. As we go back to live action now, Cincinnati has the ball. Second down, Bengals need 3. And they need a ton of points, trailing by 31. Straight ahead carry, and Craig Taylor, who scored the only touchdown of the game for the Bengals, takes it ahead for the first down. Now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. 49ers, after trailing 21-14, are blowing away the Falcons. San Diego doing the same to the Jets, coached by the former Bengal offensive coordinator Bruce Coslett, an understudy to Bob Trumpy in his years at Cincinnati at the tight end position.
We've got several blowouts going here today, Don.
Craig Taylor runs again as he is thrown back by Bubba McDowell.
Don, I think you're going to see a lot of the running game now, and I think the main reason to protect Boomer Esiason. If you put him back there against this pass rush the way the Houston Oilers defense is playing and try to get back in this ball game, he's going to come out with an ouchie somewhere. So you start giving it to those running backs and let them do some of the work.
Game clock running. We have 8:13 to play in the third quarter. I think then the Bengals may have conceded this one. TKO.
Well, you want to get some yardage, but you want to keep him healthy too.
Hey, this is working pretty good as they go back to Craig Taylor. He's a big back from West Virginia. Played on that great West Virginia team a couple of years ago that came within a game of winning the national championship, only to lose to Notre Dame.
Since Ickey Woods got hurt, the Bengals have functioned without a true fullback. This is a tight end trap. 87 Riggs on the trap on Doug Smith. And Craig Taylor has not played a great deal, but they need the fullback. This is a running back offense with Harold Green and James Brooks.
First down. Power set for the Bengals. Boomer looks to throw. Pump fakes. Long ball. Man is open. It's Barber. Almost intercepted. Look at 3 flags come in. There's one to agree on. We're going to have an interference call.
Are we ever?
Kennard and Steve Brown were defending on the play.
There's only 7 flags that can be thrown out there, and I see 4.
Number 24, defense.
Steve Brown.
Well, the receiver, Barber, runs a stop and go. You see the pump, that's on the hitch, and then he goes deep. And Brown gets over there, puts his hands in his face. No question, that's an easy call. That's why all the flags came in there. Whoops. On the offense.
Rodney Holman left early. 3 or 4 more flags.
Full start, 63 and 82 offense.
Got 2 guys who are jumping early. Right tackle Joe Walter and tight end Rodney Holman. Coach Sam Weich now in his 7th year as coach of the Bengals. He's had him in the Super Bowl.
Continues this way. It'll be 6 straight the Houston Oilers have won down here in the Astrodome. This has been a very difficult place for the Bengals to win. Penalties even, not yardage, but numbers.
Bengals were the only AFC Central team that didn't go to the playoffs last season. Oilers have been to the playoffs the last 3 years. Taylor runs on a 1st and 15 play and gets to the Houston Oilers 20-yard line. Middle linebacker Al Smith, number 54, was on the stop for Houston.
Now, strangely, you're talking about the Bengals did not make the playoffs last year. They also had the best division record at 5-1.
As we mentioned, Trump, scheduling is with them. A loss today, they'll have a 1-game lead on Houston. 6 of the last 8 games for Weich and the Bengals will be at home. Which was to have been a Cincinnati home game, as mentioned earlier, but because of the Reds' playoff success, it was switched to the Astrodome. Esiason gets time. He throws a strike down to the 10-yard line. Perfectly thrown ball. Angles it into his tight end, Rodney Holman.
You see the Bengals still going with the standard operating procedure here. It looked like Terry Kennard assisted on the tackle, but the running of Craig Taylor has made the play-action pass work pretty good. And the Bengals have gone their last 6 possessions in this game without scoring. This has been their best drive since the opening drive of the game.
This is a team that scored 34 points on the Rams at Anaheim last week, did the Bengals. Back to the run. Again, some hard strikes put on Craig Taylor by the Oiler defenders. Johnny Meads and Al Smith led the tacklers. Big plays have been the story of this game. Big plays by the Oilers as they came from behind 10-7 and blew it open. They now lead 38-10.
Oh, look at that.
A litany of big plays.
Oh, 3 outside receivers. 4 outside receivers have all caught touchdown passes.
Warren Moon keeps them all happy, doesn't he?
Jeffries has got to be upset, though. He doesn't have a touchdown score. They'll work on that the next possession.
4 TD throws to 4 different receivers. Timing pattern, but unable to get off the line was Mike Barber. He was bumped at the line, couldn't get to the ball. The Oilers are a team without a tight end. Tight ends from last year are all gone.
23, Richard Johnson is the man in coverage, and Barber kind of gets hung up with him, tricks himself. The ball's already in the air, and it's already on the ground by the time that Barber gets in the end zone. They call that a fade route. And that didn't work.
Last week, the Oilers just lit up the scoreboard in the first half against the 49ers, but the Niners held them to 92 yards in the second half to a total of 6 yards in the fourth quarter, coming from behind to win. Bubba Parra said after the game, "We know how to win." Craig Taylor heading for that end zone, cut down at the 5 on a 3rd down carry. Brings up 4th down.
I think you got to go for it.
Got to go for it. 38-10.
Yeah, he's signaling, stay in there. No Jim Breach onto the field.
Sprint rollout and a throw to Holman.
They need a 3 for 3 here, no question about it.
The Bengal offense isn't getting any help from these Oilers fans. Rollout, throws to Holman, touchdown Bengals.
Well, that certainly quieted the crowd.
It was indeed a sprint rollout and a throw to tight end Rodney Holman on 4th down and good for a touchdown. As the Bengals now have 16 points with 4:27 to play in the 3rd quarter.
This should be coming right at you. They run Holman in motion, and frankly, they're trying to get somebody picked. The closest guy is Richard Johnson, 23, but Holman gets that ball across the plane of the goal line, touchdown.
The extra point is hit up and good by Jim Breach, and so the Bengals, who haven't scored in a long time, get a touchdown on a 4th down throw. The 11th TD throw of the season for Boomer Esiason.
Well, take a look at the touchdown again, and Rodney Holman is the man who comes in motion, and he just tries to get the defensive backs caught up in the wash, and it works. Homer rolls out. Richard Johnson, 23, is the closest man, but Holman does get the ball into the end zone for a score. So there is new life for the Bengals.
And here is the kickoff, spun downfield to Gerald McNeil of the Oilers. His trip was a short one as he's down to the 15-yard line. Kevin Walker, 59, came down to make the play on special teams for Cincinnati.
15 yards on the return for McNeil.
Warren Moon getting set to work on offense. First a timeout. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Prickey back at the Astrodome in Houston, where the Oilers lead now cut to 38-17 as the Bengals score for the first time since they led the game 10-7. Since then, until that last score on a Siason and Holman throw, fourth down, it has been all Oilers. Now Alan Pinkett's in the game for Houston for a setback. The all-time leading rusher at Notre Dame. Alan Pinkett gets the ball. Not very long. James Francis, Pinkett's 5'9", 188. James Francis is 6'6", 250.
Alan Pinkett didn't expect to come into the game and have this happen. I mean, just after he gets the football, whoops! Somebody block that number 50, will you please?
James Francis, a Baylor Bear from Waco, Texas. Number 1 draft choice of the Bengals. Rave about this kid.
He was a basketball player. They don't know how good this kid might be.
Right from football to Baylor basketball.
Timeout called by Houston.
Houston, number 1.
Warren Moon laughing and telling jokes.
This is what the Oilers have done today, Don. Offensively, I don't think you can get much better than that. What's not in there, of course, is the interception return by Richard Johnson for Houston for a touchdown, and that accounts for the 38 points.
Warren Moon sets in the gun now. Shotgun set up on a 2nd down and 10. Good coverage, good pass rush. Bengals starting to look sharp on both sides of the ball, but probably too late.
Now, Tua Tagovailoa from over the center and James Francis from the outside. Tua Tagovailoa is out there over Dean Steinkühler. They want Alan Pinkett, number 20, to pick up Tua Tagovailoa. That ain't going to work. But at this point in the game, 38-17, I don't know. Do whatever you want.
Warren Moon on 3rd down and 10. What a throw. What a hit, but it's a first down. Ernest Givens makes the catch, and then he is popped by Barney Bussey. 15-yard gain on 3rd and 10.
He's a tough kid, though. He has taken some shots over his career and still gets up. Bussey is a big hitter. But it's tough to get Ernest Givens out of the game. Good protection. Lewis Phillips, 24, is the man in coverage on Givens, and Bussey is waiting there for him. But Ernest hangs on. The hit once again. It's like one of those dummies you see in the car commercials when they crash in. All over the place. I don't know how they get up after the collisions like that, but they always do, it seems.
Pro hitters, you know, they strike with the shoulder like Tyson puts a short right hand on you. Yep. 1st and 10. Warren Moon stands in, makes another completed throw to Jeffries coming off the flank. He's to the 35-yard line. See the game clock winding down. Ricky Dixon was on the tackle, number 29, former number 1 draft choice from Oklahoma. The Hertz 10-minute ticker shows the 49ers in command at Atlanta. San Diego, an underdog, blasting the Jets in New Jersey. Kansas City now opening up a 15-point lead over Detroit. New Orleans with a commanding lead over the Cleveland Browns at the Superdome. And Tampa Bay with the Packers well in hand. Buccaneers leading by 12 in the fourth quarter. Now 2nd and 4. There's not much there for the Houston Oilers runner, as Tim Crumrye, nose tackle, stops Alan Pinkett.
Also looked like Jay Pennison helped. There's Sam White's on the sideline, and I think when Tim McGee got hurt, they had to go to their other offense. And Warren Moon has just been on fire today. This is as good as I have ever seen Warren Moon throw the ball.
This is the 20th time that Warren Moon has thrown for 300 or more yards in a regular season game. It's the 2nd time in his career. He's thrown 4 touchdowns in a game. 3rd down, the Oilers need 4. Get it. Curtis Gibbons isn't done. Look at this. What a player.
Boy, it looked to me like he stepped out of bounds.
Isn't that great?
Excellent runner after he catches the ball. Always has been. But it looked to me like he stepped out of bounds. He's limping off once again. He's the guy who just got hammered by Dexter Bussey. Watch when he catches this ball down when he gets to the sideline. Does his foot touch the outside? No, it doesn't. Stays in.
Right there.
Yep. Good call by the official. Ends up being a 24-yard completion. Lewis Billups in coverage. Earp put on the brakes and head upfield.
His dad played briefly for the Cleveland Indians, Ernest Gibbons' father. Downfield throw, the open man. Drew Hill, and he's inside the 20-yard line, down to the 16.
Well, they're tearing this defense up.
Yeah, these Oilers, they don't do well on the road. That is their Achilles heel, and they have to travel. But they could be a force. This is a tough offense to slow down. 24-yard gain on that play.
They are tearing this defense up.
We'll be back to the Houston Astrodome after these messages from your local station. Houston with a commanding lead after 3 quarters of play. We're ready to open the 4th quarter now at the Astrodome in Houston. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. If you like touchdowns, this is the place to be. 55 points scored so far and more to come.
Yeah, and I think of those people out there wondering if the Houston Oilers are trying to run up the score. I frankly don't think so, because this is the way the run and shoot functions. You throw the thing 10 or 12 yards deep, and a runner turns it into a 24 or 30-yard gain. That's not running up the score. This is just a product of the way the run and shoot functions when it's working well.
And it has worked especially well. It's getting better every week. Right now, the Oilers challenging again as Pinkett, with both arms on the ball, takes on tacklers inside the 15-yard line. First down carry, good for 3.
The Bengals made a trade this summer for 2 cornerbacks. And they got, when Eric Thomas got hurt, it really affected this Bengal defense, and affected this Bengal defense big time. They got Carl Carter and Rod Jones, and throughout the first 6 games of this season, if they've been burned somewhere, they've been burned at the corner. There's Eddie Brown, the wide receiver, but the corners have just not done the job for the Bengals so far.
Well, Eddie can play some football, but now with that bad knee, 2nd straight missed game. Catch with Jeffries. He hasn't been in the end zone yet today. Everybody on the Cincinnati team, other than defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau and Chuck Studley, hit him.
Yeah, Jeffries hasn't been in the end zone, but he's the only wide receiver who hasn't.
Right.
Ricky Dixon in coverage that time. There's Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator. The idea of this defense is good. Show blitz, play zone, but the corners have just been eaten alive.
LeBeau was an all-pro player with the Lions as a corner.
Oh, he could play.
Out of Ohio State. Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, out of Southern Connecticut State. In New Haven, Connecticut, he came out of the Canadian Football League, a very bright, innovative young coach. He is the man who implements this run and shoot offense.
2nd down.
Got a couple of big ones on that Oilers coaching staff too there.
Yeah, the other one was Bob Young, the offensive line coach, used to play for the Cardinals.
He was the strongest man not only in the NFL but in the world at one time.
One
in my
time,
opinion.
yeah, played with the Houston Oilers for a while.
That strong. One of those guys would run up the hill with a refrigerator on his back.
Looks like he's wearing that refrigerator on another part of him now.
Next guy that beats him arm wrestling will be the first one. Didn't he used to win that every year? Second down, Alan Pickett. Amazing little athlete. He went to Notre Dame as a 5'9", 182-pound running back. They strength tested the team. He bench pressed more than any player on the team at 185 pounds, 440 pounds.
The only problem is he doesn't get a lot of carries out of this run and shoot. This is just spread the defensive line and try to get up in there. David Fulcher, 33 there, along with Tim Crumright to assist. If Houston scores here, that's 7 straight possessions on which they have scored. Is that unbelievable?
It is unbelievable. First down, Pickett heading towards the end zone, but he's knocked down short of it. Got to the 3-yard line. We have 12:55 to play in the game. 38-17 is the count. The Oilers in the lead and looking to build on it.
Let me change myself. It's 6 straight. This will be the 7th. And that is just, you can't play any better football. Look at, whoa, 417 yards. 366 by Warren Moon. 4 touchdown throws. This is the way when you draw up the run and shoot on the blackboard, it works. It's not supposed to work this good. It has.
Moon looking for more into the end zone. Intercepted and lost. Bengals had it and they lost it. Rod Jones, number 25. That brings up 3rd down and goal now for Houston.
I don't know how he misses this one. He's got Drew Hill 85 in coverage, and you see nice pattern, just a little circle route. Well, maybe a tough catch, but that was the 12th play of that drive, and that's what Jack Pardee likes about the run and shoot. Ball possession. So look at here, they're going for it. On 3rd down and goal with the 4 wide receivers again.
Throw, touchdown, Jeffries. A career high for Warren Moon, and a happy day at the Astrodome for Coach Jack Pardee. And Moon, with his 5th touchdown throw, has really spread it around. 5 different wide receivers catching them.
Ricky Dixon, 29, just drops the coverage immediately. Bussey, 27 on the inside, doesn't help. Jeffries is wide open. I'm telling you, it doesn't work this good when you draw him up. And it's worked this good all day.
We talked at the outset, Trump, about the busiest guy in the Astrodome would be the scoreboard keeper, and that has been the case. It's now a 45-17 game with 12:08 to play. The Oilers will kick off again when we come back. Warren Moon with defensive end Sean Jones. Look at Warren Moon's passing numbers. He is now thrown for 5 touchdowns today, for 16 for this season. There's his backup, Cody Carlson, from Baylor University in his 4th year. 3-time captain of the Baylor Bears. See if Boomer stays in there the rest of the way. This one has been out of hand for some time. 45-17. Oilers lead. And Smith runs it back. The 22-yard line.
Warren Moon has now thrown 16 touchdown passes in 6 games. Suppose he likes to run and shoot?
They're not only at the outset they were running and shooting, now they're running and scoring. It's working.
Situations like this, now, no question that Sam White realizes he is putting his quarterback in jeopardy, because unless they run the ball, the pass rush of the Oilers is going to be uncontrollable at this point in the game.
Anderson hands off to the rookie Green. He works hard, and a marker comes in again. 11:53 to play in the game. Oilers 45, Bengals 17.
Holding against Cincinnati. That play comes back.
Jack Pardee was saying yesterday, anytime two good teams play, you can bank on it that 4 or 5 key plays will be the difference in the game. 5 throws of Warren Moon for touchdowns have certainly been key.
86 offense during the run. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Mike Barber called for a hold, was that?
Yes. Outside receiver blocking on one of the cornerbacks. Yeah. Warren Moon's touchdown passes to Hill, Gibbons, Jeffries, Jones, and Harris, and Anthony Munoz on the sideline. Probably done for the day.
Gotta have him back.
I think Mike Brennan, number 60, is in a tackle for the Bengals.
Mike Brennan is in, a rookie from Notre Dame, number 60. Here's a throw down the field. Intercepted indeed, and it's live. Running with the ball is Terry Kennard. Run down by Jim Riggs, a tight end. Kennard was a key player for the New York Giants in their Super Bowl championship season. Came here as a free agent. Marker down, and they're starting up after the play.
These teams do not like each other. There's no question about that, whether Jerry Glanville is here or not.
As Eisen was saying yesterday, there's more jawing in this series than there is in any other one the Bengals play, even with the arch rivals like the Browns and the Steelers. And he said let's watch the interception again now.
Ball was intended for Mike Barber, and Terry Kennard, free safety. Wait a minute, did he have that one? Did that ball bounce on the ground? Jim Riggs finally makes the tackle.
Two things. We have ruled down by contact at this spot right here, the 41-yard line. Secondly, we had offsetting personal fouls after the play. It was first and 10 right here.
Okay, so what they're saying is that Kennard was down when he hits the ground here, but did he catch that? He didn't catch that ball. That's not an interception. That's not an interception. Now, there is a rule that if it's been ruled down by contact, that it doesn't go to replay, but they ruled down on contact only because of the spot of the ball. So I think the replay can intercede here, and that was not an interception. Homer Esiason has had his problems today. Again, watch this ball, Don. There is no way this can be ruled, because you got the same rules for a receiver as you do an interceptor. Second foot down, that ball is loose. That's an incomplete pass. Excellent look there by our guys. No way that's an interception. Chuck Eberling is the man to make the call.
Chuck looks like he's calling in additional counsel now to rule on this. But there's no question from that last replay look that the ball did touch the field before Terry Kennard had possession of it.
Yeah, and you heard the referee say that it was down on contact, but that's where to spot the ball. They're not saying that he had the ball and he was
down by contact.
No, but I think that's a mistake. I think that's a clear mistake. He was saying down on contact to mark where the ball was.
Boomer didn't buy it.
That's one for Houston, and that's the way it's gone today.
Carlson is now in the game, quarterbacking the Oilers. Cody Carlson, he's good. Carlson's first throw is a strike for a first down to Leonard Harris for 13 yards. This is the most points scored by the Oilers since they beat the Bears 47-0. And here's the go.
Eric Wilhelm is warming up on the sideline for the Bengals, too, so it looks like the two starting pitchers are out.
1977, the Oilers beat the Bears 47-0. They ended up beating the Bengals 45-17. Carlson is 6'3", 195. He was 3 times the captain of the Baylor Bears. This time he's off target.
29. This is defending on the play for Cincinnati.
Lots of points going up on the board at Atlanta. Most of them scored by San Francisco. San Diego venting its frustrations, pummeling without mercy the New York Jets, who are on their home field. Kansas City blasting the Lions after Detroit led early in that game. Touchdown Sunday. New Orleans continues to lead Cleveland by a comfortable margin, as does Tampa Bay over Green Bay.
There's a game there worth looking at, including this one. They're all over.
Next Sunday it kicks off with NFL Live. Then in the 1 o'clock games, Denver is at Indianapolis. Bobby Humphrey as Eric Dickerson returns to run the ball for the Colts. The Jets head into Buffalo to play the Bills, who are on fire. A week off. No to catch on 2nd down and 10. Boomer Esiason ready to head back to Cincinnati. Their next time out will be against the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland. Next for Warren Moon and the Oilers, they'll be playing the Saints here in the Astrodome next Sunday. And they're home again the following week to play the Jets.
Look at those numbers. 369 yards, 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers. Well, this is what NFL coaches are hoping the run and shoot does when you have the run and shoot as your offense. Numbers for Boomer last week, he was sensational. Today, all Houston.
Here is Carlson getting the ball away downfield. Oh, it's almost a touchdown throw. Tony Jones almost had his 2nd of the day, and there's a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Rod Jones, 25, was defending.
Offside defense. He said something 3. There's Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator. And as strange as this sounds, the bulk of this defense has played very well. The cornerbacks have been eaten alive today. Ricky Dixon, Rod Jones, Carl Carter have just been hammered.
You give up 45, your defense isn't very coordinated. Houston is 7 of 8 on 3rd down conversion. This is 3rd and short. Yard. Looks like they have it.
That's 8 of 9 on 3rd downs.
I think they show some mercy to these Oiler offensive linemen and let them run block, which is a lot easier than pass blocking. These guys have to be worn out. A lot of them are out of the game now.
Steinkuhler and Munchak on the sideline. There's the offensive line of the Bengals. This road tour continues for them. They're in Cleveland next week on Monday night.
Zone. They wrestle for the ball. Touchdown. There's a penalty marker down. Receiver might have left early.
Yep, far side receiver left early.
It's against Houston. Comes back.
McNeil makes the catch, but Tony Jones, the receiver on the other side of the field, left early.
They had 51 up on the board. And
Number 82 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Tony Jones was off the line of scrimmage before the snap.
No question about it. He was very premature, and he knows it. And then McNeil gets the catch for Houston's 6th touchdown reception, but it doesn't count. Still, it's worth looking at. Ricky Dixon again. Boy, he's been in a lot of these pictures, hasn't he? Guys in the end zone catching the football. That's what you call catching the ball over the defender.
They go to the draw play. Alan Pinkett breaks through. He sends inside the 15, inside the 10, and down to the 6-yard line. And he stayed in bounds, which no one's unhappy to see.
Rod Jones on the tackle, and they split the defense beautifully. Pinkett breaks a tackle there. Well, there's holding on Ricky Dixon, flag not thrown. But it's a first down, close enough to a measurement. They are eating it up in chunks today, aren't they?
Big ones.
First and goal.
First and goal, Houston Oilers. Kick off your night on NBC and play McMillions. You could win at least $1 million when you watch the new drama series Hull High. Then on the critically acclaimed new series Life Stories, meet 4 people looking for surgical solutions. Plastic surgery is the story of an all-new lifesaver. Followed by an NBC world premiere movie, A Quiet Little Neighborhood, A Perfect Little Murder. That's all tonight, only on NBC. First down and goal, Houston Oilers, who already lead the game 45-17 with 8:12 to play. Carlson pitching, tip ball. It'll be second and goal.
That's it for Harris.
Those pictures you saw were flashed on the scoreboard, the matrix. They see the Oilers, they cheer. When they see the Bengals, they boo. Oiler fans have had nothing to boo about today. Great performance by their team. Incomplete pass, no penalty marker down. Lewis Billups was defending, number 24, on Bernard Ford, number 88. There's the matrix scoreboard.
Our pictures are now not synced with the matrix. Well, they're having fun, and I don't blame them. Taking a timeout.
Timeout. Let the good times roll. They caged the Bengals all right. 45-17 with 8:04 to play. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, and now with Cody Carlson pulling the trigger. The Oilers look for more. Third down and goal. Pinkett would like to get in. He gets the play fake, and it's Carlson on the rollout. Francis in pursuit. Ooh, he clotheslined him. Took his hat off. Incomplete. James Francis will get your attention.
Yeah, James Francis will outrun a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Carlson does a good job of getting away from the first time, but then Francis makes him pay. He wrestles him to the ground. Nolan almost completed, so Zendejas comes in for a field goal. And on this, once again, rips the helmet off of him. Hair-raising experience there for Cody Carlson, huh?
Zendejas getting back on track. He was 2 for 7 on field goals this season before today. He's hit them both. And the lead is now 48-17.
Don, you and I have done a lot of football games over the last 13 years. Look at this performance by the Houston Oilers. First, the interception. We're not done yet. That's not the entire game. That's 5, 6, 7 straight possessions they've scored, wow. And an interception returned by Richard Johnson for a touchdown. I've never seen that in all the games that we've done in 13 years.
And certainly here, Mr. Trumpy, the 61 points the Bengals ran up last December is not out of the question for the Oilers. They need 13 more. A lot of time left as Kendall Smith runs it back.
Brought down by ticket number 20. And quarterback now for Bengals number 4, Eric Wilhelm.
Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at the Astrodome as Eric Wilhelm is now in to quarterback the Bengals. And hopefully in their wisdom, the Bengal coaches will order him to run the ball.
Anthony Munoz has an ice pack on his shoulder. James Brooks is on the sideline. Boomer Esiason out.
He's going to throw it. Makes a completion. Hits it downfield to Lynn James, that much talked about rookie from Arizona State. There's big Anthony Munoz, the consensus all-pro tackle who banged up his right shoulder. James Brooks, the all-purpose runner. He's on the sideline, maybe just being rested.
Smart save. Boomer Esiason, second half of this game, 2 of 5, 16 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Meet again December 23rd in Cincinnati. To the run go the Bengals, and Craig Taylor, who scored Cincinnati's first touchdown on a short burst up the middle, carries the ball on a first down play for about 4 yards. Tackles by Jeff Alm, a rookie from Notre Dame, and Glenn Montgomery, also a first-year player. There's Warren Moon and his counterpart Boomer Esiason.
This is when quarterbacks plead deafness. Warren can hear though. There's a group that did an awful good job today. Gave Warren Moon a lot of time to throw.
Very good.
Ball start, 63 offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Joe Walter called.
The fans are having fun here. Dueling coaches, and I do think it's Jack Party's going to win. It's time to pay, Sam. By the way, the bottom of that sign there says House of Pain. They don't even call that. No, it's the House of Pain anymore.
Bubba McDowell was saying yesterday, the whole atmosphere has changed. Swing pass incomplete on second down and 12. As we check the 10-minute ticker on this 6th Sunday of play, 49ers en route to yet their another victory, of 14th consecutive on the road. San Diego beats the Jets 39-3. Jets went into that game favored on their home field. Cleveland getting close to New Orleans in the 4th quarter at the Superdome. Next Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Walt Disney World Oldsmobile Golf Classic on NBC Sports. Incomplete throw. It brings up 4th down.
Don, this is just the second punt of the ball game.
If they in fact punt it, maybe they'll pass.
No. Let's not do that. Let's just punt the ball. Ray Childress on the sideline. What a game.
Boy, he was unbelievable. Ray Childress personally dominated on defense early in the game. Lee Johnson ready to hit the ball. And return by Gerald McNeil is out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Penalty markers down.
Back up the field, too.
Ran out of bounds at the 36.
6 minutes and 2 seconds left to play here at the Astrodome. And referee Gordon McCarter gets the official ruling from his side judge. Holding. Be against the Houston Oilers. Little tub thumping going on. Not needed at this point.
Number 27, 36 receiving team during the kick. 10-yard penalty from the spot where possession changed. 1st and 10.
Fine. Start the clock.
Bo Orlando on the hold. Today it was Dome Sweet Dome. No question about that.
Next Sunday, the Broncos go to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Jets go to Buffalo. Those are the 1 o'clock games on NBC Sports, following NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. It's a doubleheader day on NBC with the Steelers and the 49ers playing at Candlestick. Raiders play at San Diego, and the Chargers now are worth looking at after what they did today to the Jets, 39-3. They blasted the Jets in New Jersey. Jets home field. For the run. With it is Victor Jones, a first-year player from LSU. Takes the ball out to the 25-yard line. Tackled by David Fulcher. Kick off your night on NBC and play McMillions. You could win at least $1 million when you watch the new drama series Hull High. Then on the critically acclaimed new series Life Stories, meet 4 people looking for surgical solutions. Plastic surgery is the story on an all-new Life Stars, followed by an NBC world premiere movie, A Quiet Little Neighborhood, A Perfect Little Murder, starring Terry Garr and Robert Urich, tonight only on NBC. First and 10, throws downfield, gets the connection, free ball. It looks like the Bengals have it if indeed it's ruled a catch and a fumble.
Phillips comes up with a football. Duncan got nailed.
Recovered by the Bengals.
Of course, these plays are always reviewable, but it certainly looked like both feet were down and the ball was then popped loose.
Houston Oilers, a playoff team, 3 straight years, looking to annex that.
See if we can pick up who makes the hit. Looks like Kevin Walker, 59. I still couldn't tell if he made the catch here. It certainly looked like it.
With this victory today, which the game well in hand as Curtis Duncan has attended to, the Oilers will have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals 6 of the last 8 times they've played. They split last year. The Oilers rallied to win here in the Astrodome 26-24, and then the Bengals won last December 1st 61-7. Warren Moon, the standout for the Oilers, continues to lead the league in pass attempts, pass completions, and in touchdown passes. 16 touchdown throws, #1 in the NFL through 6 games. Defensive tackle Ray Childress was equally good at the other side. The Breeders' Cup Steeplechase is next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time here on NBC Sports. Right now we have 4:46 to play. Curtis Duncan, after making a reception and losing the ball, is attended to, apparently just jarred by that tackle.
That'll knock the wind out of you, and even with the rib pads that you see him wearing, you can really knock you for a loop. He's very, very slow going off.
Tell you, Bengals will blast every guy they can the rest of the way. They're going to keep throwing. They're going to keep on hitting.
Looks like he also hurt his leg of some sort along with getting the wind knocked out of it. It's been a big day for those Houston Oilers receivers, though.
The common sense thing to do would be for Houston to run the ball and run out the clock and get out of here with a decided win, but that would have been the common sense thing to do for the Bengals last year. Ball goes back over to Cincinnati on the fumble recovery.
Let's see if we can pick up again exactly what might have happened here. Kevin Walker from the left there is the guy who makes the contact.
He gets sandwiched.
When he comes down.
Now in the fumble recovery, go to live action, and the Bengals have the ball. 1st down and 10.
Fumble.
Wilhelm, the problem with the exchange there on center Bruce Kozerski. Clock continues to run, though. That's the plus.
The Astrodome is more than half empty. They've sent the people home happy here in Houston.
You see Kozerski never gets the ball up to the quarterback. Looked like it slipped right out of the center's hand. Wilhelm does a great job to recover it. People dressed in the same color there.
The run. Takes it inside the 35-yard line. He's down to the 31.
Hey, just saw the wrong way to snap the ball from the center to the quarterback. Now this time Kozerski gets it up there. Well, just skidded along the ground the last time.
5 yards on the carry for Taylor.
Ishman on the tackle on Taylor. Job here to pick up 3rd and 5.
Eric Wilhelm, a second-year player from Oregon State, working at quarterback for Boomer Esiason in the late stages of this game. Penalty marker goes down, as does the runner, Craig Taylor.
I think he tripped over the quarterback. Good day's work there by Ernest Givens, number 81. Glenn Montgomery.
A highly regarded rookie is Glenn Montgomery out of the University of Houston. Actually his second year.
Look at the yardage. 386 of that thrown by Warren Moon. Unbelievable.
Wilhelm is swept under on 3rd and short. He didn't get there, and it brings up 4th down.
They were running the option there, Don. He was going to option.
Very well.
Yeah, right. But he was running down the line. It was Jeff Alm that made the tackle along with William Fuller. That's what that play was going to be. The option.
On 4th down, the Bengals, hopelessly out of this game, will go for it.
Watch what he does. Fronts out. William Fuller just blows the play up. Now see, his option is to pitch it back to the guy in the backfield, but William Fuller was having none of that. 4th down, they're going for it.
They need about 3. They go to Craig Taylor, and we'll have to see the spot. Looks like where the linesman's coming in, he's going to be just. He got it by the nose of the ball. I think the spot's going to give it to him. They're going to rule no. Spot short. Oilers take it over. Oilers took this one over a long time ago.
A long time ago. They have had the ball 8 times today to this point and scored on 7 of them. Plus had an interception run in for a touchdown. That's about as good as it can get.
Cody Carlson at quarterback. Handoff goes to the rookie Victor Jones of LSU. As Victor Jones takes it across the 30-yard line on a 1st down carry. And the game clock will wind down to the 2-minute warning. We'll come right back for the concluding 2 minutes of this game as the Oilers stay in command. It's a doubleheader day next Sunday on NBC Sports. The 1 o'clock games following NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. Denver at Indianapolis, the Jets at Buffalo. 4 o'clock matchups include the Chiefs and the Seahawks at Seattle, the Raiders and the Chargers at San Diego, and the Steelers head into Candlestick to play the unbeaten world champions, the San Francisco 49ers, who won handily today at Atlanta. 2 minutes to play in the game. Oilers have the ball on a 48-17 lead.
That's Haywood Jeffries and his son.
And Brought down by number 59, Kevin Walker of the Bengals.
Well, mercifully, the
little
Houston
guys.
Oilers are running theirs. He was
The executive
the young
producer,
man.
excuse me, Trump, of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is John Feratsis. Today's game has been produced by Glenn Adamo. Directed by John McDonough. Associate Director Doug Graber. Production Associate Jenny Huber. Technical Manager Keith Scamahorn. Production Managers John Craig and Tim DeKime, and Technical Director Jimmy Johnson. 1:15 to go. The Oilers running out the clock now with a 48-17 lead. I want to thank all the NBC technicians who make these telecasts possible. As you look at them in print, down inside of 55 seconds to play. .48 seconds to go. The Bengals heading back to Cincinnati. Then they'll be on the road again next week, heading to Northern Ohio to play the Browns on the shores of Lake Erie at Cleveland Stadium. And the Houston Oilers will be right back in the Astrodome for the next two games, against New Orleans next Sunday, then against the Jets. Victor Jones again, running hard. Cleveland is losing at the last count, 25-20 to New Orleans. Thanks to our spotters Frank Priddy and Eric Moore, statistician Charles Salzer. Kansas City wins big today. New Orleans has defeated Cleveland 25-20. Tampa Bay over Green Bay, and Jack Pardee with his team's most impressive win in his young tenure as head coach of the Oilers. A 48-17 rout of the Cincinnati Bengals. A reversal and an avengement of the 61-7 loss that Sam White and the Bengals laid on the Oilers last December in Cincinnati. Bob Trumpy.
The performance by Warren Moon, probably the finest I've seen in about the last 10 years.
We'll be back to the Astrodome in Houston, Texas in a moment, where the score was 48-17 Oilers.